Jay, that's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
The crowd up. And so are this defense, and Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
David Montgomery on the Lions, former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's a flag. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. There's flags. Snap. Hold. Kick.
Denver wins! Denver wins! Let's go!
They open. No!
What happened? Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Only Football Podcast. We got a 3-and-out for the Saints. They actually got a first down, I believe, on the first play. Offense is staying out on the field. This is interesting. I guess they are on that fringe area where we got the ball like on the 45-ish, so too long for a field goal. Maybe too short for a punt. Not eliminated from the playoffs yet. We'll see Spencer Rattler tonight for the Saints, 4th and 7. Play clock down to 2, and they're going to have to call timeout. No. How does the head coach not call a timeout? They get lined up with 3 seconds left on the play clock, and the head coach still didn't call timeout. And now they take a false start penalty. Now you have to punt it. If it wasn't a false start, it was going to be a delay of game because nobody called a timeout. Look, it makes no sense. That's why they're 5-9 right there. We got Daniel Berry Sports Chat in the chat. What's up? We do got Rick joining us here in a little bit. Here is the punt, and the Packers are going to call for a fair catch at the 8-yard line. And the Packers already scored on their first drive. There's a late flag thrown on the field here. Let's see what the flag is. Holding on the Packers. It's going to be half the distance to the goal. And this is going to be my audio check. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Audio check 1, 2. All right. How do you guys hear me? You guys hear me pretty good on the internet? All right. Sounds good on my end. And all right. Let's do this. Monday Night Football. Packers Saints. Packers come into this game as a 14.5-point favorite. Pretty big spread. I think it opened up at 14 and it got bet up to 14.5. You look at how the Packers have been playing football recently. Of course, last week was supposed to be a really good game in Seattle with the Seahawks trying to get into the playoffs, and the Packers absolutely destroyed them 30-13. The week before that, it was a nail biter on Thursday night against the Lions. Unfortunately, they lost that game for Packer fans. But then the week before that, the Dolphins, with everything on the line, get pretty much embarrassed as well, 17-30. Now, the week before that, they beat the 49ers 38-10. So, I mean, this Packers team right now is rolling. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 really good wins in a row, and I feel like the win they had last week against the Seahawks is one that they can really build off of going into the playoffs, because after this week, it's the Vikings and the Bears. So this game against the Vikings is pretty important because the NFC North's a little weird this year because we're going to have a wild card team that's going to have more than 13 wins, which is just absolutely incredible. 13 at least. Okay. Now, if the Vikings lose to the Packers and the Lions in their final 2 weeks, they're going to be 13-4, but they're still going to be a wild card team, which is just remarkable. Here's Jordan Love looking to throw, rolling out to the left, tossing at the feet of Jacobs, and that one's going to be incomplete. Eight and 2 in their last 10 games. We just talked about their last 4. They've been very dominant. Haven't lost to an AFC team. All of their losses, as the screen just showed here, has been to NFC teams. Here's Jordan Love, Christian Watson in motion. They're going to hand it off to Jacobs, and Jacobs is going to pick up 4. Harris in on the stop. Five minutes left in the first. Good opening drive for the Packers. Let's see if they can convert here on 3rd and 6. If not, pretty good field position for the Saints. Oh, hard count. And what was that? Was that the offense? It looked like they both looked like they jumped. So it's going to be against the Saints. So 2 pre-snap penalties in the first quarter for the Saints, both on critical situations. One was 4th and 7, Saints going for it, and then they have to punt it because it's 4th and 12. Now you got a 3rd and 7. You got the Packers in a pretty tough conversion, and now it's 3rd and 1. So I guess it was 3rd and 6. And oh wow, Kraft on a sneaky direct snap. And they're going to say you got enough for the first down. Good. Good call. Good call. That's a really good play call right there. 1st and 10, Tucker Kraft. 3 for 3 on QB sneaks this year for Tucker Kraft. Jordan Love dropping back, looking to pass, firing. Josh Jacobs with the stiff arm, staying in bounds, picks up 14. So a good pickup right away from Jacobs. Wow. Just coming across the bottom of the screen, running all the way across. Josh Jacobs. I mean, man, you talk about a guy that is just really able to do it all. I mean, he's accounted for 57 scrimmage yards already. And he's going to touch it here on 1st down. And he's going to pick up 3. And he will come out for a play. Looks cold in Green Bay today. Right now, it's 33 degrees, so just above freezing. It's going to be 24 later tonight. It's going to snow, but should be after the game. when it starts to snow, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll start to snow before. Jordan Love fakes the handoff, play action, stepping in the pocket, throwing middle of the field, and incomplete. Sticky coverage by Taylor. Good defense right there. Maybe they're a smidge early. I don't know if that hand it was in there, but was it? Yeah, I think it's a good no call. His hand was in there, but I don't think he was pushing against him or affecting his arms. Jordan Love, good throw and catch. Romeo Dobbs with the first down all the way to the 45. Romeo Dobbs with the Guardian cap. I did not know that Romeo Dobbs wore the Guardian cap. Yeah. Kool-Aid McKinstry, the rookie corner out of Alabama, I believe. Yeah. Second round pick. Reed in motion, fakes the handoff. Love rolling to his right. Now looks back to Reed, then chucks it into the ground because the defense played it perfectly. Nowhere to go with the football. Josh Jacobs, man. Of course, he had a crazy good story going into the combine. He was homeless. That was a huge storyline growing up in Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma. His father and his father raised them, and they lived in their car. Just a incredible story. Jordan Love gets rid of it. Josh Jacobs staying on his feet somehow takes it and turns it into a gain of 5 or 6. I don't know how Jordan Love got rid of this ball. The pressure was there. He he looked like he wanted to get rid of it, but it looked like there was nowhere to go with it. And then he just kind of shot puts it. And who else besides Josh Jacobs, who's accounted for 85% of the offensive yards here in the first quarter? Now it's going to be another manageable third down, 3rd and 2. They're 4 for 4 on third down. They average 2.8 yards per third down. And now we're going to get a timeout, it looks like. All right, so Matt LaFleur wants to think it over. 3rd and 2. And we got a timeout. Josh Jacobs looks like he was dealing with a little bit of discomfort. Hopefully it's not an actual injury. Always scary when you see that. Do do 491-925. 491-925. Spencer Rattler's already ran for 7 rushing yards. I expect him to be a mobile quarterback, a rushing threat tonight, especially if they get behind in this game. I expect him to take off a couple times, especially if there's just really nothing downfield that I mean, you think about their receivers, and it's like nothing really comes to mind. Chris Olave was the guy, but Josh Jacobs already with 32 receiving yards tonight. Man, that guy is the real deal, man. He's gonna win. He's gonna win some people their fantasy Super Bowl. All right, 3rd and 2. Handoff. Oh my gosh. What a dumb Hey, it's 3rd and 2. We're gonna run the ball, but we're not gonna give it to Josh Jacobs. I don't understand that. You called the timeout. Uh-oh. They're not gonna snap it. They're just gonna wait and try to get him to jump. And that's the end of the 1st quarter. So 1 quarter down. Kendre Miller, 4 yards rushing. Romeo Doubs, 15. Tucker Kraft with 12. Jordan Love with the passing touchdown. Josh Jacobs with 36 rushing yards. And to go along with that, he's got 32 receiving yards. So only 4 more rushing yards than he has receiving so far. Romeo Doubs with 1 catch for 15. And Jaden Reed, catchless. And so is Christian Watson without a catch. But, I mean, so far, Green Bay's offense looking really good. You know, when you think about the strengths of the Packers coming off 4 really impressive wins, one thing when you just watch them play is they gotta be considered, in my opinion, the most balanced team in the league, right? Top 10 passing defense. What I think a top 5 rushing and passing. I mean, the passing numbers are kind of down, but that's because of how many times they run the football. I think they're averaging 20 carries a game and 20 passes a game. It doesn't get much more balance than that. If you look up passing yards per game this year, Green Bay is 11th, just outside the top 10. And it's not because they can't throw the ball, it's because they're so great at rushing the ball. If you look at rushing yards per game, they're 5th, 144 rushing yards per game. It's pretty remarkable. And they average 147 at home. So you got a top 10 passing offense, a top 5 rushing offense. Then on the defensive side of the ball, you look at their defense, and they got a top 10 rushing defense, only allowing 105 rushing yards per game. And then offensively, they're 16th in passing yards. But a lot of those passing yards is because teams are playing from behind, like the 49ers and the Seahawks, as of recently. Just in their last game, though, that against the Seahawks, they only gave up 128 passing yards. And here at home, on the season, they average less than 200 yards passing given up. So it's pretty good stuff all around when you look at the Packers. There's a lot of great teams, but they have a weakness here Uh, they're you can nitpick them like the Ravens and their passing defense, but when you look at the Packers, there's just nothing to nitpick. There's really not. At times, it was like Jordan Love was being a little too reckless with the ball and forcing turnovers. Um, but now at this point in the season, it's kind of settled down a little bit, and Green Bay has kind of, I guess, stopped the Josh Jacobs on a carry, and he's somehow going to turn that into a 3-yard gain. That's what makes him special. There was nowhere to go. He was about to get tackled 2 to 3 yards behind the line, and he just gained 3 yards. But yeah, earlier in the season, nobody threw more interceptions than Jordan Love. The way that he was just taking too many dumb, risky throws, and now at this point in the season, the Packers are 20th, averaging 0.8 interceptions thrown per game. So Jordan Love just realizing he doesn't have to be Superman. They got a really good running back. And here's Jordan Love, and he's just going to throw it into the dirt. And look, this play right here might have been one of those interceptions thrown earlier this season. He does the play action, he rolls out. You can see him, he wants to take a shot downfield, and he stops himself, looks at Tucker Kraft, who's his check down, sees that he's covered, and just throws it into the feet, lives to fight another down, 3rd and 7. One of the longer third downs that Packers have had to face so far. And that's kind of telling the story of why they've been able to continue their drives. Here's Jordan Love in shotgun looking to throwing the out route. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be short. It's only going to be short by a couple of yards, and I would expect Green Bay to continue to go for it. Fourth and 2, Jordan Love fakes the handoff to Jacobs, looking to throw, now tossing it to Tucker Kraft, and Tucker Kraft taking the ball all the way down outside the 10. What a throw. Christian Watson was wide open for a touchdown. I guess Jordan Love just wanted to get the first down in that situation, but man, that was a wide open Christian Watson. Here's a handoff. Josh Jacobs staying on his feet, down to the 10, all the way to the 1. All the way to the 1-yard line, and Josh Jacobs has the Packers on the 1-yard line. Look at this. He's about to get met in the backfield, a stiff arm, even a face mask penalty. And Josh Jacobs, touchdown. Touchdown, Josh Jacobs. What a drive from Green Bay. Seriously. What a drive from the Packers. I mean, this Packers team has what it takes to go all the way this year. There are 3 teams in the NFC right now that you can make a strong case for. But what do we know about January? What do we know about the playoffs? Is the winning formula is playing good defense and running the football well. You know, the Lions just lost David Montgomery for the year. The Minnesota Vikings, they have Aaron Jones, but there is no doubt that the Packers are the most consistent running team right now. But we'll see. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think the Lions, I'm not gonna say that they're gonna be better, but Detroit right now, they're right there with Green Bay. Green Bay's averaging 144.4 yards per game running, and the Lions are 143.9. We're not even a full yard separated between the Packers and the Lions. So, man, it'll just we'll just have to see how do the Lions um how do they deal with the Montgomery? I don't think it's going to be a huge issue personally. I really don't. I mean, they had 146 rushing yards against the Bears. 140 looks like Jahmyr Gibbs had 109, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. So that's 110, 128, 138, 39, 40, 147. So 146 yards against the Bears on the ground. Yep, 146. So that is updated. Yeah, I think your NFC Championship game is gonna look like probably Lions Packers, but it's interesting because if the Vikings and Packers are a wild card team, the way it would work out is the Vikings would obviously be the 5 seed, but then the Packers would be the 6 seed. So there's only one spot open, and that would probably be the Commanders unless the Seahawks can try to get into the picture. Um, right now, the Buccaneers are the 8 seed. The Falcons jump back in as the 4 seed, having the tiebreaker over the Bucks. Uh, the Buccaneers, man, losing that game to Dallas, a game that they needed to win, dropping them to an 8-7 team. But the Seahawks are 8-7 as well, and the Commanders are 10-5 with a 2-game lead with 2 games left. And their hardest game was the one they just played. So I think your playoff picture isn't going to move from where it's at right now. Lions, Eagles, Rams, Falcons, and then Vikings, Packers, Commanders. So you'd have the Commanders playing the Eagles, which is the game we just saw. A healthy Eagles team, a healthy Jalen Hurts. I'm taking the Eagles. I mean, the fact that they scored over 30 points with Kenny Pickett is pretty remarkable. And then that would mean the Packers would be playing the Rams. And then you would have the Vikings playing the Falcons if it ended right now, which would be crazy because Kirk Cousins would be not even in the game. Here's a pitch on first down, and wow. And that is Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper. I've been talking about him all season long. He's one of my favorite players. He's a second-round draft pick out of Ohio State, I believe. He has been flying around, and he's just a home run hit. It is all you can dream of when you draft a linebacker in the second round is what Edgerrin Cooper has been this year for the Packers. And this defense is really starting to come together and click. Not that they haven't all season long, but they really are playing their best football right now in December. False start. That is the third pre-snap penalty tonight. Third pre-snap penalty tonight for the Saints. Oh, out of Texas A&M. Okay. Second and 18. Yeah, it's just not a good formula. You're gonna try to get some of the yards back here. Riddler gonna tuck it and run, and he's gonna pick up 2. And the Packers will look to get a 3 and out here. All right, 3rd and 6. And Rattler's going to just throw it 5-6 yards downfield, and that's going to be well short, not even close. I mean, it's a that's why those 3rd and 15s, 3rd and 13s, that's why they suck, is because ideally, a 6-yard gain on 3rd down would be somewhat of a conversion, and they weren't even close. It's 4th and 10. Now here's the punt, and the Packers are gonna catch it at the 33-yard line. Can't have pre-snap penalties. You got a losing team that has a rookie quarterback on the road, and you're not doing him any favors. You're really not. So Jordan Love coming back out on the field. Spencer Rattler, only 28 passing yards in this one so far. I thought earlier in the season that the Saints would actually have the worst record, but it looks like that's going to go to the Raiders or maybe the Giants. I know Bill's hoping that it goes to the Giants. All right, Watson with a quick gain. A lot of Josh Jacobs so far. All right, Jordan Love, 2nd and 1, looking to pass. Caught. Tucker Kraft all the way down to the 30. 28-yard gain in Green Bay. They are rolling. And Jordan Love said this in the offseason when they said, you don't have a real number one. He said it's going to be somebody different every week. Going to hand it off. Musgrave takes it down to the 20, so the Packers officially in the red zone here. Ooh, direct snap to Christian Watson, and Watson down inside the 2. Oh, no. Now Christian Watson's hurt. Looks like he just landed on that leg weird. All right, so they're going to a quick break. Man, Green Bay, man, just running the score up here. Still 7 minutes, 6 seconds in the second quarter. Hopefully Christian Watson's all right. He was able to get up by his own strength. I remember when we started this podcast, we interviewed a guy named Burton Berger, and he was telling me that Josh Jacobs was not a good running back. And I'm like, dude, you are high. We got into it for like 10 minutes. But I think now would be a good time to send him an email because we did exchange emails. Just be like, hey, what were you saying about Josh Jacobs being washed? Oh yeah, Watson's looks like he's in a lot of pain. All right, so they're going to mark it on the 6-yard line. Jayden Reed with a quick does not get the edge. Well, he does gain 4 or 5 yards, so it's going to put the ball on the 1-yard line. Flip to Jayden Reed. Tucker Kraft setting the edge. And Chris Brooks gets in. His first of the year. Who the hell is Chris Brooks? Who's Chris Brooks? Dude, the Saints just stay getting embarrassed. $21-0. 3 touchdowns on 3 drives. Yikes. 6 minutes and 28 seconds left. And we'll see if Spencer Rattler can perform a miracle. 'Cause that's what it's gonna take here. Undrafted free agent signed with Miami out of BYU. That's who Chris Brooks is. Jeez. 10 to the 20 to the 30. Out of bounds. Just shy of the 40. Yep. Packers run it over 50% of the snaps in the first half. Nobody runs it more. 15 first downs already. Rattler, wow. What a throw and catch. Spencer Rattler. Had to throw it high. Had to throw it. That was a very ballsy throw. Not sure if that was an accident or just an amazing throw. Here's the pitch. Jamal Williams with the pitch. It's funny how he just kind of faded away from the radar when just 2 years ago he led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Seventh quarterback off the board. The difference is the first 6 went in the first round, in the top 12. 2nd and 6, handoff again. And this time only picks up 1. But at least they're in a 3rd and manageable. As long as they don't have a pre-snap penalty here. Just a bad year to be a Saints fan. Oh my gosh, they did it. I just called it. I just said as long as they don't have a pre-snap penalty, they'll be fine because they've put themselves in 3rd and long twice now. Once it was 4th and 7, and they were going for it, and they made it 4th and 12. The other was 3rd and 5, and they made it 3rd and 6. This is unbelievable. Now they're just gonna run it on 3rd and 10, somehow pick it up, and ladies and gentlemen, coming into the studio is a man that we know and love, a man that loves the Bears even when Matt Eberflus is Matt Eberflusing. A man with the largest penis in the world coming in the studio, the snake, the python, the anaconda, Rick.
Yo, what an intro. What an intro, Kyle. I love it. I love it. What's up? What's up, brother?
Oh, dude, this game. I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about cutting it. I was like,
really? Just because it's such a lopsided game right now?
Super lopsided. I didn't have a comment the whole time. Like, and I just was, I was like, maybe everybody's hanging out with their families or,
that's fair. That's fair. If you want to cut it, if you want to dip out of here, hang out with your fam, go ahead. I'll take the rest of the game. You let me know. You let me know.
Oh, shit.
Fumble?
Rattler just threw the ball. What was that? He just he tried to shovel pass it, but there was no intended receiver, it looked like.
Let's see. Shovel. Oh, no, that's a fumble.
Rashawn Gary comes up with it. What did he do here with the ball?
I think
he just got hit.
Yeah, and it looked like as he was getting hit, he was trying to transfer it from hand to hand. And I think right there, as the hit happened, fumble.
Gotcha. Wow,
Spencer Rattler just doing Spencer Rattler things. Love to see that.
Gee.
Crafty.
31-0. That's going to be the final.
Saying 31-0?
At this rate, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, at this rate, I'm surprised the Packers don't have 35 points already. If I'm being honest,
their drives have all taken like 17 minutes.
No, that is fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was going on about how balanced they were, and they said that they've ran the ball in the first half more than any other team.
Running the ball in the first half than any other team. Well, wow, credit to them. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a fucking beast this year. So, I mean, and we knew how good Josh Jacobs was and has been when he was on the Raiders. So it's really no surprise because even with like having Aaron Jones and who's the other running back that they had with him? He's still on the team, but I forget his name. AJ. Is it AJ?
Oh, you're thinking AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon, yeah. Like they had a good.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he was lost for the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, like the Packers have been blessed with some really, really good running backs. Oh, neck injury. Ugh, that sucks.
But yeah, they just had an undrafted free agent that signed with Miami. Mm-hmm. I think it said he went to BYU, and he just scored a touchdown. And I bet there's fantasy managers everywhere just like, what the hell, Josh Jacobs? You're on the 1 yard line and you put this guy in that nobody knows.
That's like when the Bears on the 1 yard line have 4 attempts and they give it to DeAndre Swift every time. And it's like, you got Roshan Johnson, a tank, sitting on the fucking sidelines for you, you idiots.
No, it has to be this guy. I've already made up my mind.
We paid this guy. We got to get him touchdowns. He's got to fucking do something. So I was keeping up with the stream. What Christian Watson is back in. You said he was down for a little bit.
Oh, is he back in? Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, it looked like he couldn't put any weight on it, so good to see him back in.
And there's a run by Jacobs, or I'm sorry, a screen pass to Jacobs.
Jeez. Remember when Burton Burger said that Josh Jacobs wasn't good. And
Did he say that?
Yeah, I got in like a huge fight with him when we interviewed him. He was like, "No, you'll see next year. He's gonna suck." And I was like, "What? He led the NFL. It was the
Oh, that's right. Because that's the exact argument you came up with. You're like, he led the NFL. Me and you said that. We're like,
yeah,
he
yeah."
led the NFL in rushing. And he's like, no, but he's not that good. And we're like, what?
I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're watching. Oh, Jordan Love, just a touch too far for Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, like, dude, you don't. His guardian cap looks like the fat heads that
Let me
in
know.
Blitz.
Let me know when the name Jeff Halfley comes up.
Get now.
Okay, cool. So we're synced. But yeah, right? Like that was a kind of ridiculous statement.
Yeah, like especially of a fan of that team.
Yeah, yeah. Love on 3rd and 4, shotgun. Snaps it. Looking in the pocket. Going deep right side, left side over the middle, and incomplete to Watson.
Do they go for it here?
I mean, why not? You're up 3 score. Your defense has been shutting them down. But looks like LaFleur is going to take the classy route and just be like, we'll punt it away.
He always does that.
Yeah.
He always is like, let me take the emotion out of it. Like, no.
Fuck him up, dude. Please, one time. Fuck him up. We got Richard in the chat. Richard.
What's up, Richard?
Richard, has anybody ever called you Dick? Because since your name's Richard. I never understood why Richard equals Dick, but just wondering.
Yeah, I never understood why William equals Bill.
I never got that either. What's Jack? Isn't Jack like what the fuck is
it's isn't that based off of Mr. Mehoff?
No. Mr. Mehoff. That was good. I like that. Jack is something. I forget what it is. I forget, but I just wanted to know, Richard. Crazy that the Pack are only the 3rd ranked team in their division, but have swept 2 entire other divisions. NFC West and AFC South. Wow. The crazier thing is, too, that's how strong the NFC North is, that the Packers at, 10 wins right now? 11 wins? Something like that?
10.
10 are 3rd, and the Bears have a 9-game losing streak, have 4 wins, and are projected to be the 9th overall pick. If you're on a 9-game losing streak any other season with 4 wins, you're probably picking top 3. And that's the difference between the good NFL and like the dog shit NFL. Is like half the league is good, it seems like, and then half the league is just trash.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when people say like, "Oh, they have a losing record against teams with a winning record," and it's like, well, that's like 70% of the league. So it's kind of a dumb thing to bring up. I mean,
it's a great thing to bring up. What are you talking about?
Well, it's because most teams don't have a winning record. You know,
yeah.
Like there's 32 teams. There's only 14 typically with a winning record.
Let's see. I'm gonna count winning records. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, 16, Kyle. You're close.
So right now it's at
16,
50%.
16. Yeah, exactly 50%.
Oh,
Jack
wow.
equals
I
Jake.
love this.
God damn it, my
Jason Kelsey just eating a block of cheese. Good for him.
I also love that.
It's like, yeah, it's cheese.
Crafty's like, yeah, there's a sharper divide than in other recent years. Yeah, and a lot of people are actually talking about that. That there is a much, much sharper divide, a very obvious line of like mediocrity or just shittiness. All right, I got to restart my TV again because it's doing that thing where it pisses me off.
Mims with the carry. And it looks like the Saints are going no huddle. We got to get something on the board. That's what they're thinking. They're on the 29-yard line. Riddler handoff again. This time they won't pick up the easy first down, or so they thought. And it's going to be 3rd and 1. Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M, the rookie linebacker. Man, he has just been remarkable. Here's Rattler over the middle. Wow. Now, you can really tell how shaken up a quarterback is. They're going to get roughing the passer here, and you can really tell when a quarterback's in his head when those easy throws look like really difficult throws. Like, look at this throw he made. It was just like, oh, that's such a terrible penalty. How is that roughing the passer? You're going to put him at midfield because of that? I'm not sure about that.
Oh, God damn it. TV taking forever.
Oh, wow. The officials?
What happened?
They're still going to enforce it. Okay. They said after further review, the previous pass was incomplete. Yeah, he did drop it. I didn't even see that. We had the other side of the camera angle there, but I thought they were going to say that wasn't roughing the passer, but they can't do that for some reason. They always have to just double down on their bad penalties.
Yeah, that checks.
1st and 10. Riddler standing at the 40, looking to throw, middle of the field. Oh my God, it was accidentally. What just happened?
Oh no, what happened?
He was throwing it. What happened? Oh, he couldn't make the catch. I thought he caught this. It went right over. Oh, he just drops it. Oh my gosh.
Was it?
It went
right. Or?
It went to Mims, and Mims just totally just dropped it. But then luckily there was a receiver behind him, and then he dropped it. 2nd and 10. Riddler, Rattler, Scrambler. What's up? 4.
Rattler, Scrambler. That sounds like a breakfast plate at like a restaurant. One Rattler Scrambler coming up, guys.
Riddler, Rattler, Scrambler. Oh man.
My Riddler, Rattler, Scrambler didn't come with fries.
Man. All right, here we go. Having a whole ass party down there. My brother flew in from Miami. We went golfing today.
Who won?
Oh,
that's a brother T side right there.
He golfs more than I do.
We got Bill in the chat. Bill, been a while, Bill. Call him Tip Ball. How is that? Because you're in Nashville. Is it like cold or is it not that cold?
It was like 50.
Oh, okay. That's not terrible.
Yeah, it was warm enough to golf.
Sweater weather.
Here's Riddler throwing wide open in the corner. Oh, he fumbled the ball, but he fumbles out of bounds.
Oof.
Wow. 39 seconds. Clock stopped.
Let me know when they show Rattler.
Rattler, replay.
Cool. Yep. Perfect. I like when players catch a ball that bounces off the ground and be like, maybe no one saw that.
Rattler, even on these type of throws, though, you see the receiver having to wait for the ball.
Yeah.
His timing does seem like it seems like he's like a full 1 second behind the play.
Yeah. And we've discussed it on here before that offense is all about timing. All about timing.
Wait, why the clock didn't stop? It went all the way down to 15.
Yeah, Rizzy looks like he had called a timeout and he's talking with the official like what the hell's going on. So, wait, did they call that a catch or not?
Yeah, they're saying it was a catch, but because he fumbled it out of bounds, the clock doesn't stop. But the coach was like, okay, it went out of bounds. Obviously, the clock stopped.
Yeah.
And it was stopped at 40 seconds, and it ended up going all the way down to 15.
Yeah, the official stopped the clock.
That is crazy. 1 second.
Crafty trying to egg Bill on. Giants got the number 1 pick locked up. Even when the Aints do something right, it comes out like shit. Yeah. Yeah. It's rough to be like a diehard Saints fan right now. Saints fans are living off that Super Bowl. What was it, 2011? 10? 12? Something like that? Darren Rizzi's got the most unique ears I've ever seen. So 15 seconds left here in the second quarter. Packers up 21-0, but the Saints are threatening at the 34-yard line of the Packers. And Rattler, shotgun, takes a snap. Looking. Oh my God, sack! Launch! Nom, 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 nom. And Rizzy is pissed. Jesus. Let's look at this. How did they... Dude, get rid of it, Rattler.
Is that the end of the half?
No, I think they've taken another timeout, but Rattler is just holding on to the ball, dude. I don't know if he didn't see the guy, the dump off guy right there over the line or something. But then they cut to Rizzy and he's just pissed. Payne was such a difference maker for the Saints. He was. All right, 2nd and 22, 9 seconds left. And snap, but they blow it dead. Let's see what's going on here.
Man, the Saints have just played so bad situational football tonight.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what happens, right? Because they started, I think this is Rattler's second start this season because it's been what was the other guy's name? The other quarterback on the Saints. Do you remember?
Desmond Riddler?
No. Other than Rattler.
Well, Derek Carr?
It's Derek Carr, Rattler, and then the Haener. That's his name.
Oh yeah, he made
Haener. It's been these two guys ever since Derek's been out. Here we go. Rattler throwing it away. You gotta take a shot there, man. What are you doing? What is this? Bill said, hint, not the 2012 Super Bowl. We beat the Patriots the second time. Let's go. At least you got that, Bill. At least you know that you guys are the Patriot killers and the Tom Brady killers. At least you guys got that. Been a while, but you got it.
3rd and 22, rolling out. Now chucking it. Oh, does it get there?
Oh.
Incomplete or... I thought that was an interception. You got to give him the pick.
Let's see if he got.
Why are we calling it incomplete?
And it's Xavier McKinney.
You better give that boy his interception.
I guess not. They're not giving it to him. New Orleans.
I hate that. They do this all the time with the end of the half. They're like, who cares? Just go to half. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Even if Even if it's a garbage time interception, it's still an interception.
Oh, but when the Commanders catch a touchdown on the Bears, they don't wave that off. The fuck?
Right.
It's bullshit, dude. I agree. Stop waving shit off. This is bullshit.
Wait, is this guy like the brother of that coach at LSU?
Voice? Ogeron, Coach O. I was like, that dude's got the most unique ears I've ever seen.
Is that like a Louisiana thing?
Yeah, I think so.
What is that from? Just like
Cajun
cancer or something? Like smoking? Like some sort of smoking like disease? It's not, obviously it's not healthy. Like their voice is gone.
Because like obviously he's going through something. Clearly he's going through something.
Nobody just sounds that way.
I think it's a either like smoking, you've yelled your entire life and that this is the result, or some sort of throat cancer, something like that. It's got to be one of those things.
Why does Coach O sound different?
Well said. I needed the fantasy points.
No way. They said because of his strong Cajun accent.
I guess so, but even like the coarseness of his voice.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like
his accent.
Yeah, no. Nobody else noticed this?
Nobody else sees this? Jesus, dude.
Oh my gosh. Is that really like how is this is blowing my mind. So that's how Cajun people talk?
Well, the accent, yes. His
I get
coarse
that, but
voice,
the
no.
raspiness and everything.
No. I don't know. No way. I've heard some high-pitched Cajun talk before from like grown men, so it's definitely not the raspiness. That's definitely not
like
Cajun.
my best friend growing up, his mom's boyfriend, Sean, he was from Louisiana and he had like exactly what you would imagine, like that deep southern. He was he was LSU fan. She was an Alabama fan.
Oh.
That made it for a lot of fun Saturdays.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Why did it sound like he's choking? Because of it. Yeah, look, Coach O referring to Ed Oregon or Garon, a well-known college football coach, often sounds like he's choking because of his thick Louisiana accent, which includes a very guttural and raspy voice quality, often emphasizing certain words with a strained vocal delivery that can be perceived as choking to some listeners.
Oh, wow. I was going to say the accent, yes, but I didn't realize that the raspiness was a part of it as well.
This is crazy because the church I went to growing up, my pastor, he's from Louisiana, but he started a church in Jacksonville, Florida, and he had that raspy voice. I always thought it was because he was a preacher that he just lost his voice.
Yeah.
I'm weird. Connecting like major dots right now. I'm having a little bit of an epiphany.
Crafty said, I thought all Cajuns talk like Gambit. Do you remember seeing that everybody was talking about what's his face, the actor, talking like Gambit?
No, I don't even.
No? Oh God, it's so bad. What's the guy from 21 Jump Street? Not Jonah Hill.
Oh, the guy in like Coach Carter.
Yeah, what's his name? What is his fucking name?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yeah. He created it. It seemed like he created or was trying to do a Cajun accent when he was playing Gambit from X-Men. You know, the guy with the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so funny because everybody was just giving him shit of how it sounded, and it sounded bad.
I can't watch a movie when they fail the fake accent. Reese Witherspoon has a great Southern accent. I watched her movie. What's her movie where like Sweet Home Alabama?
Sweet Home Alabama, yeah.
She fakes a New York accent. It's terrible.
Yeah.
You can't get past that movie because everyone loves that movie, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. Rick, I hate it. I hate everything about that movie. That movie is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible movie. Um, it's just stupid. Like she goes
Kyle is
back.
being for real right now.
She's got this loving husband who plays
Mhm.
McDreamy in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh
That
yeah.
and he's like he's takes care of her, he respects her time, like he lets her do what she wants, he loves her, like he's like the perfect guy. But then she goes back to Alabama and she's got this like weird toxic relationship with this guy in Alabama who's like, y'all, you think you're better than all of us because you moved to some fancy city and got your shit together. It's like, yeah, kind of, like she is better than you.
Just
Like
a little bit.
I'm sorry, but that's like the cold hard truth is like you guys decided to stay here and have a shit ton of kids and not get a real job. And she decided to move to New York and pursue.
Dude, he's a rancher.
I know. And it's like no disrespect to what you're deciding to do with your
Mhm.
life. But as soon as you say, you know, like, oh, you think you're better because you like what went to college and educated yourself and like made like fiscally responsible decisions. And it's like, I'm like, why is the movie making it seem like she owes
That's a
them an
bad
apology?
thing. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then at first I'm like, well, obviously the movie's gonna like, and no. By the end of the movie, she gets back with the toxic ex. She's leading on McDreamy the whole movie to the point where they even
Yep.
have the wedding
Kyle's
just for her
pissed.
to say at the last second because somebody said, "Oh, you never signed your divorce papers." That was the reason why she said, "Oh my God, it's a sign. I wasn't supposed to." I'm just like, oh my God, this movie sucks. And everyone that loves it is a part of the problem.
Hey Kyle, tell me how you really feel about the movie Sweet Home Alabama.
I've been waiting to get this off my chest.
He's like, you know what, Rick? I'm glad you brought up Sweet Home Alabama because I love it. I love that you and I during football can just go on random rants like that. Remember the one I had? I forget what it was about, but I was like, I hate when these fucking women post like, oh, I wish I had a husband like this. And it's like, you've had 4. And every time it's like their fault. You know, it was something like that. But me and you could just go on rants and we're just like, fuck yeah, that was needed.
Yeah, no, that was. Have you seen it?
Dude, a long time ago. It was when literally there was no streaming apps out. Like you had to rent the movie when it came out. Like that's when I saw it. That's the last time I saw it. So I was like a kid.
Yeah, it's definitely. I would just watch it and just tell me your honest opinion on it. Be like,
Sweet Home Alabama 2002 film. Well, no wonder you hated it. It's 2002.
yeah, but there's like I love a lot of movies from all kinds of eras. It was just like the
True.
overall message was just kind of like I don't know. I felt like by the end of the movie, both guys should have like been like, I'm staying away from you. You don't know what you want.
Yeah, you're weird, actually.
Yeah, like even the guy that like I was like, man, both of you should be like, look, I don't want to be with you while you're trying to decide if I'm like worthy of being in your life forever. Like if you're debating that, I'm sorry, but for me, that's a deal breaker. Like
yeah.
if I'm like I'm sorry. I know there's plenty of people out there that are like, oh, life can be confusing and stuff. And it's like, sure, it can be, but that doesn't like two things can be true. Like life can be confusing and you can also respect yourself enough to be like, I'm not going to, wait around for someone to decide if I'm enough for them or some other person is. Like when it's the right person, they'll not have to make that decision. It'll already be made. It's just like, I don't know. I just feel like guys have some dignity. Like
you're not wrong though. You're not wrong because I watch dog shit reality TV with my wife because it's fucking great. And me and her
TLC or
on Netflix, like what's the one everybody watches? We were just like The Ultimatum is one of them we watch.
Yeah.
Those things like that, like just reality TV about couples going through shit, or just like young
Cutler
people.
was on one.
Yeah, with Kristen Cavallari or whatever the fuck,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
ex-wife. Yeah, and I love watching them because my wife and I just shit talk the shit out of these people. We're like, this guy's a fucking idiot, blah blah blah. But it's so true that like some of the things and reasonings behind their decisions are so toxic and so bad that you're like, why did you come on the show in the first place? It's like this show, The Ultimatum, we're watching. It's a couple, 6 couples come on the show. One of the people in that couple has issued the ultimatum. Like, I've proposed to her or I want to get married, and this person, whether it's the guy or the girl, don't want to. And now we're going to go on the show Ultimatum and we're going to date the other 6 couples for a week and then do a trial marriage for 3 weeks with the person we like the most, which you separate from your original partner. And then after that, you go back with your original partner and then you decide whether or not you want to stay with them. And throughout the whole thing, everybody's like, well, I don't know why you got all close to this person and created a connection. And I'm like, that's the show, you morons. That's the experiment. I don't know, dude. It's so funny.
No, it's like it's the same thing with the like. Look, I know that people can find love in a lot of weird places. Like my dad met his wife on Tinder.
There you go.
And they've been together for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and it was funny because both my dad and Jocelyn, who we married, both of them, their kids set up their Tinder profile.
Oh, really? That's
like they didn't even set it up. We like, but anyway, it's yeah, you can, love it can just come out of nowhere. But like the show The Bachelorette, it's like the only thing is like I'm a romantic, so I feel like if you like put me on a date and all of these like romantic destinations and I was always looking my best and you gave me all these suits and you like always like made me look like super fresh, like I can bring the rest home. Okay. But it's like, how much of that is real life?
Yeah.
And how much of that is just like you are literally on a honeymoon with these people? Like, of course you fell in love with 3 people. Like,
that's the point.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, this is just so hard. And it's like, oh, please. People spend their whole life and no one loves them. Your problem is too many people love you. Like, come on. Who do you love the most? Figure it out.
Just pick one. It's like, if you love me, if you don't love me at my PJs and a t-shirt, you're not allowed to love me at my Tom Ford suits.
That's what I say.
That's what I say.
I always say that. That is so true. It's like, it's the same principle. I would see this in like some of my friends' marriages, but like, it's like there's like plenty of marriages where like, let's say it abruptly ends, and then all of a sudden the guy's like, I'm gonna get in shape. I saw this with my own dad. He's like, I start going to the gym. Now he's cooking in the kitchen. I never saw him cook. 20 years he was married to my mom. He never cooked. And I'm like, wait, maybe if you did like any of this stuff, like maybe it would have worked. And it's like people want to get in shape for their next person, but they don't want to put in that same work for their person that they've been married to.
Yep.
And it's like, man, if you just put in that type of energy. That's why they always say never stop dating your person. Exactly. Don't move on to like a phase where you feel like, oh, we're not dating anymore, because we're always changing. Humans, we're evolving. So you should always be dating.
Exactly.
You should always be trying to impress. Like, I'm not saying you got to be weird like you were on the first date where you can't fart, but like, you open the car door, make sure your fucking car is a little cleaned out before you pick them up. Like, do those little things you used to do.
You heard it here first with Kyle. If you're married, don't fart. Do not fart ever. Ever. I may as well be divorced at this point.
Under no circumstances
should you ever fucking fart.
I'm not a big farter, and I don't know, maybe that makes me shallow, but
yeah.
I just like never. I've been in like years long relationships where I still just don't like to fucking fart. I don't know.
There you go.
It's just it's my thing. My brother, totally different. He'll fart in front of everybody, and he doesn't even know he did it.
He's like, oh God, it stinks, huh?
Yeah. He'll be like blowing it your way. Like, dude, this fucking is disgusting.
You guys came, everybody in the chat, everybody in the stream came for only football. You guys came for some life advice too, and you guys just don't know it yet.
It was life advice for the Saints: don't start Riddler.
Yeah, Rattler.
Rather,
Don't start Rattler the Scrambler.
it was Riddler last year, right?
No, Ritter was on the
Ritter
was on the Falcons last
he was on the
year.
Falcons. Their names
Yeah.
are weirdly like close but different, but they like remind me of each other because they both wear visors and were like late round draft picks.
You're combining the both names.
Yeah, they're becoming one. What number does he wear?
18.
Oh man,
God, he wants to be like Caleb Williams so bad. Casey said buy some air fresheners.
He's like, I got the visor, I got the 18. I'm losing. I'm basically Caleb.
I'm losing. My team sucks. That's crazy. The Saints have one more win than the Bears. That's crazy. And the Saints have gone through 3 quarterbacks.
If you didn't think one play could derail your season, the Bears haven't won since the Hail Mary.
Yep. That was it. That was the play. I don't know how, like, one singular play completely destroys an entire team. 3rd and 2.
I saw it. I called it after the Broncos-Falcons game with Kirk Cousins. That's why I was so quick to say bench him, because I knew what I just witnessed. I was like, that was one of those ruin your season type of games. Here's Riddler into the dirt. There's not even like, what are we doing? I mean, you're not even like, the receivers covered, and even if you were trying to fit it in there, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Look at this throw. He's like, all right, I'm going to throw it.
I think he got mad too, right?
Yeah, I can't tell if he's mad at himself.
Yeah. Or the receiver. Either way, you shouldn't be mad. We got Lily in the chat. Lily. Casey said, clean your glasses. It's a sign of love.
What kind of, like your, like wine, like your glasses in your kitchen?
Those nasty farts that be fogging your glasses up, Kyle.
Oh, gross. It's a fake. It's a fake, and now they're gonna. He just canceled it. Did you see him?
Oh no!
Did you see him on the sideline?
No, I didn't.
It looks like he went to call a fake punt, and then the coach went out, looked at Green Bay's defense, and then he tried to make a sign to say like to me it looked like cancel the fake. He didn't like what he saw defensively, and now they'll just take the delay of game and save the timeout.
Yep.
I wonder if the replay will show him, because when you see a head coach that active on the sideline during a punt, usually means, here we go again.
What is that? Oh, that's so weird the way they snap the ball like that, huh? And fair catch at the 15.
I think they're just setting that up for later.
Ooh, smart. Well, let's see. So Packers get the ball back at their own 15. So they're about to go 85 yards for a score here soon. Lily said, I heard a rumor once upon a time, Kyle, that Malik Willis is better than Jordan Love. I'm sure if Willis was playing, the Packers would be up 37-0. Kyle, your response.
There's really no denying that. I mean, at this point, the facts are there. I mean, Malik Willis.
People are talking, Kyle.
Malik Willis he's a bad man.
People are asking the question. Hat on fire in the chat. I came into something clearly out of pocket. Should I leave? No, Hat, you're good. You're good. We're just giving some love advice. Two people completely underqualified to be given this type of advice, giving love advice.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know what, guys? Listen to it and apply it.
Yeah, I mean, just, take what you like, throw away what you don't.
Yeah, there you
Probably most of it you'll throw away, but that's okay.
go. But that's fine. We just appreciate you guys listening to us. uh,
How long is BK gonna go with this song? What is it, 3 years now?
yeah, I think so. BK, 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 BK. I think we should come up with one for the Only Football podcast.
Only football, Packers, Broncos, only football, Bears, and Broncos, only football.
I was like, what
Caleb
rhymes with
Williams,
Broncos? What rhymes with Broncos?
Bo Nix.
Have it your way. 4-6.
That's not bad, actually.
Only football, Bears, and
What do you think about
Broncos.
what do you
Only
what do you
football.
what do you think of the Bengals Broncos on Saturday?
That's gonna be a good game. I know you're nervous. You are nervous like a mofo
Joe
right now.
Burrow wins out, and essentially in the playoffs, it's the Chiefs.
You said it Thursday. You're like, I'm the biggest Chiefs fan now. Cause
I've changed my mind.
you don't want them to win anymore?
Here's the thing. If we beat the Bengals and the Chiefs, we'll go into the playoffs hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it also means if the Steelers beat the Chiefs this week, that we would play the Chiefs back-to-back weeks in the first round of the wild card round.
True.
So,
True.
look, either way, we just got to take care of our business and let whatever happens happen. But if the Steelers beat the Chiefs, and then they would be playing us hard for the first seed, and we beat them
hard.
anyway, the first round of the playoffs would be Broncos-Chiefs again.
Ooh, a little end around here for Melton. First down to the 34-yard line before getting out of bounds. Melton. Chiefs fans are rooting for you Broncos to win out. True. Broncos need to win out, Kyle. That's it. That's it. They just need to win. Win out. Only football podcast. Rest gay. Did I get that right, Crafty? I think I got it right. Only football podcast. Rest gay. We'll have Brother T saying that second part for you, Lily. Yes, I got it right. Let's go. 10:36 and counting in the third quarter here for the Packers. 21-0. Packers trying to get to 11 wins here. Kyle and I called it during our predictions on Friday. This is going to be an easy win for the Packers. And I mean, you're seeing it right now, 21-0. Love hands it off. Jacobs, first down. Great second effort. 20 for the Saints. Thought he brought him down in the backfield, but Josh Jacobs able to get that second effort for the first. Feed me it. Nom, nom, nom. Gonna get a guitar. Kyle's already got one. Me and Kyle are just gonna sing that song, release it as a video. All right, 1st and 10. Snap. And it's going to be, who is the running back? Brooks, number 30 for the Packers. Takes it for a few yards there. By the way, I miss your old outro that showed Josh Allen wildly gesticulating with his arm. The Conor McGregor. That was a good outro. That was the OG outro. I just didn't want to get, I don't know, in trouble for like NFL films type shit. You know what I mean? God forbid. We barely make enough money as it is right now on this podcast. If we get sued or taken down, that would suck. All right, 2nd and 3, Packers. 47-yard line of the Saints. Gonna hand it off again. Brooks gets the handoff. Great second effort, man. These guys are full of amazing second efforts by the running backs. He was taken down at the line of scrimmage, or so it seemed. Came, shed that tackle and got a first down. He said, fuck out of here. Chase Young, haven't seen him in a while.
Kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely, somewhat good on the 49ers last year, but ever since then, he has just not been good. Love, quick pass left side, and it just hits the ground. He bobbled the snap there, so that may have been why that was a bad pass.
Melton again.
Yeah.
Damn. It looks colder than it is.
Did you see what the temperature was? Because I know it was going to be super cold.
It's 33.
Ooh, any wind? Wind chill included?
8-mile-an-hour winds.
That could get pretty cold, though. Love shotgun. Snap. Looking. All the time in the world. Gets to his running back on a dump off. Oh, my God. The Saints defense is just getting walloped.
Yeah, they're really just...
There's no fight.
Just manning through him.
Yeah.
Just trucked him.
I was saying that that backup running back for the Packers, Brooks, he had a really good second effort to get a first down on that last set of downs. He did really well. Christian Watson on the ground talking to a trainer. 3rd and 6. Love shotgun.
Man. He's still down.
Yeah. Back to pass.
I didn't think he was coming back in this game, but he did, and now down again.
Reed unable to come up with that one, but I think it was a little out of reach.
Helmet off.
Oh, was his helmet off?
Yeah, he just took it off, and wow, they're gonna try this. I like this decision. I think this time of year in these weather conditions, you want to know what your kicker can do.
True.
This was our kicker.
McManus, 55 yards, snap,
Super Bowl
hold,
50
kick.
Super Bowl 50 winning kicker right here.
And it's good. 24-0.
Nailed it.
Who's your kicker now again?
Will Lutz.
Lutz,
Dude,
that's who it was.
These are the houses I'm telling you about. You're like driving through a neighborhood, and then all of a sudden look, there's a stadium.
Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm.
It's so different than every other team where you're like in the city.
Yep.
It's like you're just driving through a neighborhood. You would never expect it to be there, and you're like, this is it. This is where all that rich history happened. In Uncle Frank's backyard?
Down the street? Yeah, I was going to say. Down the street from Uncle Frank's? That son of a bitch. That's good, though. That's good.
Well, the playoffs, I think, for the NFC are pretty much set. As far as I'm concerned, nothing's going to change.
Lions, Eagles, Rams, Falcons, Commanders, Packers.
Well, I
Vikings.
still think the Bucks. I'm sticking with my Bucks, but I mean the wild card stuff.
Yeah, Bucks are the only one that could honestly change the South because they're both 8-7 right now. Bucks take on Carolina next week. Atlanta takes on the Commanders, and honestly, those two teams are good right now. Like, obviously the Commanders, but more so the Carolina Panthers are winning games, and they're favorited, So I'm surprised. I would be surprised if the Bucks could handle the Panthers because they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, how do the Bucks have a 52% chance of making the playoffs, and then the Falcons have a 54%?
I think it's just because the Falcons have the lead right now in the division. I think that's it. I think
But
that's
then,
why.
if they were 54, wouldn't Tampa? I mean, just thinking logically, wouldn't they be 46?
Why, how did you get to 46?
Well, it's out of. I get what you're saying. So you're saying it's
Yeah.
separate.
Well, I was just wondering how you like
Well,
below
I'm
50%.
like, okay, the Falcons or the Bucks, one of them's going to win the division. So if the
Right.
Falcons have a 54% chance, then the Bucks must, like, it would be 50-50. I could see that.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. I see what
But
you're
like,
saying.
how are the Falcons
Yeah.
at 54 and the Bucks at 52?
I wonder if it's because it's like, hey, it's like a predictive model. What they have, like these guys should win this game, this guy should win that game, something like that, or
Yeah,
strength
like
of
individually,
schedule.
probably not like.
What's that?
It's probably like individually, your percentage individually, like it probably doesn't account for the Falcons. It's like we're just telling you your chances.
Right.
We're not really including, the Falcons' chances. We'll do
Yeah.
that separately in their own.
But even then, it's like the
How do
only
you
way
separate?
either of these guys get in is if the Commanders completely lose out,
Yeah.
or the Falcons or the Bucks, one of them wins the division. That's the only way.
Yeah, the Commanders would have to lose out, which means they would lose to the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Rattler.
Do they have a Week 18 matchup?
I'm trying to see what it is.
I assume they do. Atlanta, Carolina, and then Bucks, New Orleans. Those are the Week 18 matchups. So they don't even play each other.
Dude, our predictions are coming down to the wire. You had the Falcons, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was your first prediction of the offseason. Kirk Cousins was traded, and you were like, Kyle, are you ready for this? I'm taking the Falcons to win the North or the South.
You know how they always do, like the day after a Super Bowl happens or the day after a national championship happens in college football, they're like, way too early predictions for the next. That's me predicting the NFC South every free agency, every single time. That's what I do. I love it. It's the like, weird thing I do.
Saints juggernaut.
Rattler, he's coming back with a fucking vengeance, guys. Okay. What's the Eagles' chances of missing playoffs with Eagles missing Hurts? No, the Eagles are making the playoffs.
Eagles made playoffs.
Yeah, Eagles are already in. The chance of them losing with Hurts,
I think he means like losing the division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to lose their next 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Eagles would have to lose their next 2 games, with the Commanders winning their next 2 games.
Yep.
And then it would go down to head-to-head.
Yep. Division 2 and that stuff. Bill with the super chat. Your Christmas present Bill. Your Christmas present came in today, Rick. I'll get them sent off to you and Kyle after the holiday. In the meanwhile, this will have to do as a gift to hold you two over for the holidays. Merry Christmas to the Only Football Gang. Bill, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to everybody. But thank you so much, Bill. We appreciate it. And not only this, but the gifts that you're going to be sending us. We really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, the Commanders and the Eagles have a 6-1 and a 6-2 home. This is going to be close. Rattler? Wow, caught.
Let me know when they get to the replay. Nice. What a catch by Juwan Johnson there.
It really was.
Yeah. What was the prediction you had? In this game, you said You predicted something and you were like, clip that. Do you remember?
I think I said 31-0.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to go back and find it.
Because I have it downloaded and I was going to clip it.
Damn
Because
it.
if it does happen, because I put one where I was like, the only touchdown that's going to be scored is by the guy who just made that really good catch, Juwan Johnson.
I was so sure. Whatever it was, I had a lot of conviction about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you were legit on that.
16 predictions.
Is there a chance the Bucks could get the overall number 1 seed in the NFC? No, no way. It is right now. It is between Lions and the Vikings, and to a smaller extent the Eagles. But with the Eagles losing to the Commanders, the chances of the number 1 seed are not good anymore for them. Because right now it's the Lions. Yeah.
Okay, I found it. Here, I got subtitles. This is exactly what I said. Here we go. Five straight games of football.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this football is going to be capped off by what I think is going to be a blowout. This is the Packers at home in December, right before Christmas. I mean, what do you think's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I've been at these games personally. I know what Lambeau's like this time of year. It's going to be cold. The Packers are going to be in the exact uniforms you're imagining. No creativity here.
Yep.
No white helmets.
Yep.
Going to be the very traditional Packers at Lambeau Field.
Oh, intercepted! Oh no! Spencer Rattler intercepted by
41-10.
Anderson. 41-10. That's what you said?
But that's not where I said clip that. I'm getting to it.
Yeah.
Oh. Josh Jacobs gets 3 touchdowns.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
it was, which is really a shame because he had 1 touchdown that he literally just, I don't know, it was like the Monstars took over his body and he ran out of bounds on the 1-yard line. Then he had another one where they put in I don't remember his name, free agent. And
Brooks.
Then he had one, but dude, everybody, especially with the fantasy playoffs going on, everybody's freaking out. Like, he should totally have 3 right now. So, I'm not even mad because the Packers have been on the 1-yard line 3 separate times. And that's prime spot for Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, Josh Jacobs has 9 rushing touchdowns within 5 yards in his last 6 games. The only other running back to do that was what was the running back? J.K. Dobbins with Baltimore last year, I think.
Wow, really? How random?
Yeah, super random. I think it was where did I see that? I saw that there was it's like a company that I think it's the 33rd something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And Bill, I know which one you meant, Bill. The one where you jumped up and threw it. Yep, that one was good.
Let me see. The 30.
I'm gonna get another drinky drink.
Here we go. The 33rd team. That's what it's called. Okay. So here it is. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Kyren Williams all have 1,200 rushing yards and 13 rushing touchdowns this season. This is the first time since 2009 that 4 running backs surpassed both categories. The last time it happened was in 2009, and it was Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, Maurice Jones-Drew, and Thomas Jones.
Yeah, and the Bears. Yep.
I didn't even remember Thomas Jones.
Yeah, he was a 3-down back, but we had Cedric Benson, who I think he was the one who passed away last year, so RIP to him. But we had both of them, and Thomas Jones was a 3-down back. He could catch the ball. He could do everything. He was a really good running back.
The Packers are currently tied for the 5th highest EPA per play, which is plus 0.50 in any game in the past 5 years right now.
Wow. Almost an interception by the Saints on a tipped pass.
That's crazy. 5 years.
Oh, Saunders. Oh!
I got my brother, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, her girlfriend, and my girlfriend is about to be here. I think she's trying to see where to park. I think that's
Nice. You guys having a little shindig?
well, it's the Packers, so they were like, "What are we gonna do?"
Nothing. Don't worry. They suck. Even I can't fucking say that seriously.
Not right now, but
Nah, yeah, not right now.
maybe later. Okay, I found it. Here it
Yep.
is. Damn, these guys post like every 5 minutes. Damn, I just had it. Let me see. Did I skip it? Green 19.
Green 19.
Josh
Saints fucked
Jacobs.
themselves. They did. They really did.
Josh Jacobs tied the franchise record with 6 straight games with a rushing touchdown.
For the Packers?
That is a Packers record. I'm surprised Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amon Green, or
Yeah.
the Packers haven't really been known for like dominant running backs. It's been like quarterbacks.
I don't know. They've had some really good running backs. I mean, they don't have Hall of Fame running backs, but they've had some guys.
They've had like, do you remember Grant?
Yeah. I remember Grant, number 25. Yeah.
Yeah, like he was. I'm just saying, like your Adrian Peterson, Saquon Barkley.
Right.
You know, like in my lifetime, the Packers have always had like an above average running back, but never like a top 5 running back.
Never like an all pro. Yeah.
Yeah, like probably not going to the Pro Bowl.
Who was that other guy? Lacy.
Eddie Lacy out of Alabama.
Lacy.
Dude, he's big now. Have you seen him?
Big.
Well, that was his biggest reason that he couldn't stay in the NFL is he just couldn't keep his weight down.
I'm trying to see what he looks like. He was oh my God, he was a big boy. But man, when he was on the Packers, he was a force to reckon with. Eddie Lacy, Grant, Aaron Jones last year. They've had other guys. Amon Green that you had mentioned, right? Who else? I'm sure if you say names, I'd be like, oh yeah, that fucking guy. Oh, Kuhn. Remember John Kuhn? What was his name, right?
I don't remember him.
Let me... Kuhn, Green Bay Packer.
Let me see what running backs I can
John
remember.
Kuhn, yeah, number 30 for the Packers.
I think Amon Green wore number 30.
John Kuhn also wore with the Packers. Amon Green. Amon Green.
Amahn, I think.
Ahman, and he also wore 30. Yep, he wore 30 as well.
That's like my earliest memory, like
of a Packers running back.
Yeah.
I remember Bears wise, Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson. They called him A-Train. What was his name? A-Train Bears running back. Anthony Thomas. A-Train. Anthony Thomas.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Let's see.
Let me see. I wonder who the Packers' all-time leading rusher is. Amon Green.
It is Amon Green. Yep.
And then
makes sense.
And then it's Jim Taylor. I don't know Jim Taylor.
When did he play? Jim
Dorsey
Taylor.
Levens, of course, I know him. But not like the way I know Amon Green. I just know that name really well.
Oh yeah,
1994 to 2001. Gary Ellis,
Jim Taylor.
Ryan Grant.
Ryan Grant, that's who it was. Yeah, Jim Taylor played for the Packers probably back in the
1958 to 1966.
I was gonna say back in the 50s, 60s, because he was born in 1935 and he died just 6 years ago. That's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers is just outside the top 10 for leading rushers of all time. He's got 3,466 rushing yards. It sounds like Josh Jacobs is going to get on this list.
I want to. This is so funny to me. Because I'll see the NFL or CBS on sports, whatever, CBS NFL on Instagram, and they'll always put like top 5 passer rookies, top 5 receiver rookies, top 5 rushing rookies. The top 5 rookie rushers are Bucky Irving, number 1, Jaden Daniels, number 2, Tyrone Tracy, Caleb Williams, and Drake May. There's 3 quarterbacks who are in the top 5 rushing yards amongst rookies. I'm like, what? That's crazy.
So it's like mostly quarterbacks.
Yeah, 3 out of the 5 are quarterbacks. It's insane. Jaden Daniels, totally understand it. But like Caleb Williams and Drake May, like Drake May has only started for what, half the season? Maybe less?
Yeah, Drake May.
That's craziness.
Drake May, I said this in the pre-draft thing. I was like, Drake May, when you just look at his size and his build, he's like, his comp to me is Josh Allen.
Yeah. Little rough, but he's going to run the ball. Oh, great job by number 0 on the Saints defense. Yeah, great tackle there. Didn't fall. I mean, he didn't fall for the screen really. Once Jacobs got the ball, he was right there, bringing him down on the tackle. 4th and 5 for the Packers. Still leading 24-0, 13:45 and counting in this 4th quarter. Nick in the chat. Merry Christmas. The Packers are doing Packer things. That indeed they are, Nick. Merry Christmas to you too.
We're going for it here.
Trying to draw him off sides.
Yeah, LaFleur doesn't have a dangerous bone in his body. You know, that is like the one thing about LaFleur that is kind of a knock, in my opinion.
Yep.
I get like Dan Campbell's too aggressive, some people say. I've always liked it. But there is such thing as being too conservative. Do you remember the playoff game where the Packers were like on the 5-yard line? It was like 4th and 5, maybe 4th and 7 from the goal.
Yep.
And they were down. I think they were down
14.
It wasn't 14 because it was a situation where I think they needed.
Oh, running into the kicker flag, it looks like.
I think they needed 4, maybe. And LaFleur was like, we'll kick the field goal.
Mm-hmm. With like 2 minutes left or something, right?
And then we'll just try to get the ball back. And then, you know what I'm talking about?
Then they lost. And who was it that they lost to?
I think it was the 49ers.
Packers, 49ers loss.
Matt LaFleur stands by field goal decision in NFC Championship.
That's what it was.
He elected for a 26-yard field goal try as the Packers trailed 31-23.
Oh, so it was 8.
They were down 8. That's what I was thinking. Okay. There was 2 minutes and 9 seconds left to play. The conversion closed the gap to 5, but the Packers never got the ball again. And the Buccaneers closed out the victory.
Yep.
That was Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Man. Oh, okay. So
what a great, like, what an awesome. I wish I would have watched that game better.
I wish I remembered watching that game.
Yeah.
it was because those are the situations where you're like, so you go from being down one score to being down one score. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? It was like, and I keep bringing this back to the Bears, but just yesterday when the Bears were looking at a 4th and 7 and they were down by like 2 scores or 3 scores, and Thomas Brown elected to go for the field goal. And it's like, there's no point. The season's lost. Why aren't you going for it here? You've converted on all these other ones. Why don't you go for it here? So I get it. It's sometimes it's mind-boggling decisions.
Do you think Mike McDaniel's job is safe? Sorry, my dog is just fucking yelping.
Mike McDaniel's job, is it safe? Oh God. This is such a tricky one for me because you saw how improved they were playing when Tua came back from his injuries, but also it seemed like even when Tua was healthy at the beginning of the season, it wasn't like great. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. It's just the defense has clearly not been there. I think they're a little bit better this year than they have in past seasons, but I think that the way the offense has been these last couple of years, unable to do anything without Tua as the quarterback, the defense being really mediocre, and then you have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle, you have all these offensive weapons, but somehow you can't win in the cold. You got to be able to win in the cold. You know what I mean? So is it safe? I don't think it's safe. I think he's clearly on the hot seat. But I don't want to say hot seat like he's going to get fired this offseason. It's a warm seat. Yeah. So I think it's getting to the point where he's close to the hot seat. But if he starts next year off like just as bad, if not worse, than what it's been like recently, I think it's going to be one of those like, all right, man, it's been 4 years. Like, you're clearly not the guy to unlock the players that we have or something. And I think he's just going to end up paying for it by getting fired. And I remember a couple years ago, I think it was like our first year during doing the podcast, I was like, I can't wait for the Mike McDaniels just like hate. And while it happened, a couple years later, it was like, yeah, it happened because he was like the hottest coach in the league. Like, oh my God, why did nobody else want to talk to Mike McDaniel? This and that. And he's able, his offense is so good. He's scoring so many yards, so many points. And then it's like, well, now his shtick is getting old. And it's like, well, we can't win playoff games. We can't get to the playoffs. We can't win the division. So he's on the warm seat for sure, in my opinion. Nick saying you go from being down 1 score to being down 1 score, but it looks better on the box score. I can't argue with that logic. I cannot argue with that logic. That is true. I think McDaniel's job's in danger next season, but he'll survive the offseason. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But the real question, Rick, Mike McDaniels to the Bears? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I just don't know if he'd be able to coach in the cold. I just don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he'd be able to. Miami needs a Minnesota winter training camp. They do. They really do. So 3rd and 8 here for the Saints. Rattler trying to get into Packers territory with first down. Back to pass. Over the middle, and he gets hit as he throws, incomplete. Jesus. Poor Rattler, man. He's just getting his shit rocked. And they should go for it here, 4th and 8. Why not? Lucas Patrick, former Bear lineman. Still looking like shit. Not surprised. We got Ginger in the chat. My God, it's Rattler again. Unfortunately, Ginger. Unfortunately. No, they're going to punt it. Here we go. Snap. Punt. And it's an ugly punt. Gets to about the 16-yard line. Miami announces Mike McDaniel playing Madden in a walk-in freezer as effort to improve play calling. That's good. That's good. While wearing a cut off, like a wife beater shirt, just really embracing the cold. You know what I mean? You didn't get the phone call, Ginger? They wanted you to throw the ball tonight. Oh my God, that'd be great. Ginger just randomly gets a call. Hey man, you still play quarterback? We saw your tape from high school and we thought maybe, you'd like to play quarterbacks for the New Orleans Saints. He's the biggest Mahomes biter ever. Tries to be just like him, except douchebag. Rattler? Oh, have you guys seen oh my God, what college does he play for? Dylan Raiola for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. There was like a knock on him this year because his like warm up is the same as like Mahomes. The way he plays, his hair, the things he wears pregame like to the game, it's all like Patrick Mahomes. They're like it's kind of weird. But Dylan Raiola, and he wears 15 just like Mahomes. He's the Nebraska Cornhuskers quarterback. They called Daniel Jones, but he didn't answer. He's too busy being on a playoff team in Minnesota right now. Yeah, look up Dylan Raiola. Like Dylan Raiola, he's literally cosplaying as Patrick Mahomes in Nebraska right now. DJ's hiding in the Vikings back room, Nick. Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm just here to win a ring if possible. That's all he's doing. Ring chasing. All right. First and 10 Packers at the 16-yard line. Snap. Hands it off. And it's going to be number 31, Wilson, for the Packers. True. What's Paxton Lynch up to now? I haven't heard that name in so long. Matt LaFleur only coaching team history to make playoffs each of his first 3 seasons. All right, 2nd and 12 here for the Packers. Snap, Love looking, and it's going to be off the helmet. It was supposed to be a screen, kind of a broken screen. Tucker Kraft was supposed to be the receiver there. I don't think channeling really works. Sorry. Bounced off his back, indeed. Kraft is like, what the fuck? 3rd and 12. Here we go. Shotgun. Love. Empty backfield. Back to pass. Good protection all day. Over the middle. Deep. Caught. Jaden Reed, first down, big catch. Great catch by Jaden Reed in space, or I'm sorry, with a guy in his face. Oh, Kyle. Wow. It works. He's challenging Mahomes, but from the universe where he was taken by the Bears. Kyle is unfortunately going to lose in the playoffs of fantasy football. Cannot believe that. Kyle, how you doing? How you feeling?
Did I? Oh, okay. I heard screaming downstairs. I had to pee, and I was like, I thought the Packers might have scored.
No, not yet. But
Is
how
there
you
a
feeling?
big play or something?
Not really. Love, right side. And it's Wicks. Actually, sorry. Jaden Reed had a really good catch with a guy in his face deep. So it was a good catch.
This is how you draft, ladies and gentlemen. Second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round. That's their entire team out there.
Yep.
Those are their picks since 2002. But you know what, Rick? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Are these guys notable players because of Christian Watson or because of Jordan Love? Like, how many of those type of guys are on other teams with shitty quarterbacks and they just become, oh, that guy didn't pan out. That guy didn't. It's like, what a coincidence that now when you look at every draft pick Sean Payton's made as the Broncos head coach, really the operating manager, but for the sake of job titles, he's just the head coach. But we all know who's pulling the strings. There's a reason when Sean interviewed for that job, George Payton, our general manager, had to step outside the room and let them talk in private. It's because he was like, yeah, George, I'll let you stay here, but I'm going to have a big say in our draft picks. And he said, all right, we'll be a team. I want to stay. But you look at the draft picks that Sean has made, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, are we just all of a sudden drafting really well? Or do we have a quarterback? You know what I mean? So I feel like that you could just go throughout all of history and do that. As long as you have a quarterback, all the wide receivers that you draft typically work out. Like, I mean, the exception is not having a quarterback and the receiver excels anyway, like Malik Neighbors or Adonai Mitchell with the Colts. But yeah, I mean, look at Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey and Xavier Worthy. It's like, if you have the quarterback, your draft picks work out. You just got to get the quarterback.
Was Brian Thomas Jr. a first rounder or second rounder?
He was a first rounder. And I remember when we did our draft grades.
Yeah.
We got into a little debate on Brian Thomas Jr. because I gave him an A-, and I was like, I just feel like he's a guy 10 years from now that I don't remember my exact words. It might have been 5 years. It might have been 1 year, but I was like, we'll look back and be like, yeah, he's like one of like the guys. Like he's one of the he's in the group for like, those are the best wide receiver ones.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little early for you to get on board with it, but I had him on my fantasy football team. So you typically like are watching that player a little closer than the rest of the world.
Yep. And now him and Brock Bowers, the only two rookie receivers or rookie ball catchers who have 1,000 yards, which is crazy given that they are on two of the worst teams in the league. It's crazy. But I think it just kind of goes to show that when you have a guy or guys who are special like Brock Bowers and and Brian Thomas Jr., you try to get them the ball early and often. And that's exactly what's happening. They have 1,000 yards each now.
Yeah, if I had to do a mock draft for 2025 right now, just the top 5 positions,
Just
I
the
think
tip.
the Giants would be picking at number 1.
Yep.
I think the Patriots are probably going to be at 2 with the way Carolina's playing.
Raiders.
In Vegas,
no?
Vegas, their last 2 games are really easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow. Raiders are at number 6. I didn't realize that they were number 6.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They asked Antonio Pierce in the post-game press conference, and he was like, "That's a question for like the general manager." He
Tom
said something like
Telesco.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, "My job is to win football games," but like, I still think the Giants are going to draft Cam Ward, and then I think Travis Hunter is going to go to the Patriots. But if I were the Patriots, what would you do? Would you rather draft Travis Hunter, or would you rather move back with the Jaguars, who are picking at 6, and get like a second rounder and an additional third rounder?
If you're the Patriots, you said?
Yeah, like if I'm the Patriots and let's say Jacksonville wants to move to 2 for Travis Hunter, and you're like, okay, well, I get a 6th, let's say, and then an additional second and an additional third as well. So you would draft twice in the second, twice in the third, because I feel like for the Patriots, and this would always be my approach as a GM, if I'm selecting in the top 5, chances are there is not one player, unless it's a quarterback, that's going to fix our problem. And if they have Drake May, then that rules that position out. I just don't know. I would rather be able to acquire draft picks and be able to make 7 selections in the first 3 rounds than make 1 selection, hoping that he will be the savior.
So Pats, yes, I agree with what Nick's saying here, and this also includes the Bears, need to focus on their O-line this draft. What sucks about the Patriots too is they don't really have a wide receiver that is like this all-star guy. I mean, Booty, what's his first name? I forget his name, but Booty's pretty good.
Yeah.
The other guy they had, not Parker, I forget his last name. Either way, they've got 2 guys. You know what I'm talking about?
Him.
Yeah. And like they have 2 guys. They have 2 guys that can be good wide receivers, but I don't know if they're there yet. But they have potential.
I think it's Javon Baker.
No, not them. Patriots wide receiver.
And I don't think they've played him much.
Demario Douglas, Keyshawn Booty, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk.
Javon Baker, yeah.
Kendrick Bourne, that's who I'm talking about. Kendrick Bourne.
Oh.
He's another guy who I think has potential along with Javon Baker possibly, and then Jalen Booty. Keyshawn Booty, sorry. Those guys I think have potential, but I have to agree with Nick here. Like Drake May and for the Bears, Caleb Williams, if those are your guys, you got to protect them. You got to go O-line. You got to go defensive line, build in the trenches. Like these are the guys, these are the types of positions you got to go for. So I think I would agree with what you're saying is if you're the Pats at number 2 and Jacksonville wants to go with Travis Hunter, I think that's good enough for not only the number 6 pick, a second rounder, and possibly a first the following year with Jacksonville. I think that might be good enough for a first the following draft year. If you're going for Travis Hunter, who is an athlete, he could be cornerback, he could be wide receiver. He's shown that he's really good at both. I think if you're going to go that route, I think you have to throw in a first rounder the following year, especially with how Jacksonville struggled this year. The Patriots are going to want that extra little, the cherry on top.
Do you think that Travis Hunter is going to end up playing both ways in the NFL?
No, I highly, highly doubt it. I think, one, because if a team's offering you money and they're guaranteeing your contract or whatever the case may be, you're not going to get hurt because you're playing offense and defense. They're not going to run that risk. Two, obviously the level of difficulty, the level of competition, and just the size difference, muscle mass difference between Travis Hunter, just came out of college, and an NFL player who's been in for 5-6 years is vastly different. So his probably injury threshold is a lot lower than college. So they're going
He's
to
going to
want to
play
limit him.
defensive back.
Do you think he'll play defensive back or wide receiver? I think that's a very good question.
Well, he's a better. I mean, I think he's going to play both ways.
Right now, I find that hard to believe, but I don't see an experiment out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, if he was playing both ways because, it was a Division II college and you could get away with it, and he was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he's like one of the better receivers. He's top 5 receiver in the National Football League or in college football.
He is, yeah.
And he's a better defensive back than he is receiver. So how do you take like somebody that's top 5 at the position and say you're not going to play this anymore? I know that it's weird because it's like never been done, but it really hadn't been done in college either. And like it's not just the amount of snaps that he played that's impressive. It's like the quality of the snaps.
100%.
Like you see him like rushing, making like crazy contested catches, like swarming to the ball, getting interceptions. Like whenever the ball was in the air, offense or defense, like he just had a nose for the ball, and I just don't know how you shut him down.
And Ginger's saying here he could give you 10 spot snaps at receiver, third down. What I would be interested in is, like, let's say they do put him at corner, put him at returner. Punt returner, kickoff returner. Have him play 2 phases of the game where he can be explosive on kick returns and punt returns, as well as, maybe, being a shutdown defender, because at least that way you kind of limit and separate the snaps, right? Kickoff, punt, that's 1 snap. Okay, cool. Well, now you're on offense. So now he has the entire offensive series off pretty much, and he's resting. And then once you go on defense, hopefully it's a long drive. Obviously they're not going to be all long drives, but at least you give him some rest time before immediately going out there to be a cornerback. And if you go wide receiver, maybe keep him in wide receiver, keep him as a number 1. But if you're the Jags, I mean, you just saw Brian Thomas go over 1,000 yards. Do you really like? Don't get me wrong. I would love to have 2 young guys as my 1 and 2, and especially with the way Travis Hunter has played wide receiver at college. And if he could, replicate that in the NFL, you've got a wide receiver duo who is going to be dangerous, but also you're going to have to pay. And Khan, the owner of the Jags, I think you'll pay them if he goes that route. But like, I think that's a problem you're willing to have.
Well, yeah, let's say he does go to the NFL and he does play both positions, and let's say that he excels in them. Should he then be the highest paid athlete of all time? Because you would have to pay him as a top 5 receiver and top 5 corner. But it's also, there's so many angles that's interesting. The other thing is, like, look at what Houston did when they drafted CJ Stroud and then Will Anderson. They went back to back.
Yeah.
Essentially, with Travis Hunter, by just making that one selection, you're going back to back.
Yep.
Because you're like filling 2 spots. The question is, like, what is going to be the learning curve to the NFL from Colorado?
That's very much the question. And I just, like, I can see, and Ginger, absolutely, he's very dynamic with the ball in his hands. I could see an experiment, but I just can't see them playing in both ways. I don't know, like, the toll on his body. Like, I get a college football season. He has amassed all those snaps and has been pretty damn dominant on both sides, both positions. I just feel like the NFL is a different beast. And to your point, like, can he make that transition? And if he can, how well can he make it? That's going to be the biggest factor.
It's been such a cool thing to see Travis Hunter and go to Colorado instead of Alabama or one of these big colleges, because that podcast that I've been a fan of for years, DNVR.
Yeah.
Like when I went to Colorado, I got to like go into the studio and meet the people that run it and everything, and I got to talk to RK, and like RK, like each person is like over the Broncos, over Avalanche, over there's like DNVR Rockies, DNVR Avalanche, DNVR Broncos, and it's like one bar, but they do different podcasts for all Denver sports. And
nice.
I got to talk to RK, and it's just like, it's so cool. Like he was covering Colorado sports for years, but now like Deion Sanders is there, and like now all of a sudden like Travis Hunter's there. Now it's like the Heisman Trophy, the most prolific athlete, is like talking to RK. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you just go from being a college that wins a single game to like the most popular athlete in the country is in Boulder. And it's just so cool to see like these guys be able to like, I don't know, like the fruits of their labor. Like they've been, covering this team for years, and there's really been no like reward, so to speak.
Exactly.
And now, Travis Hunter this will probably be the best Colorado like season for them ever, maybe.
Yeah, for a while. I mean, and unless, like NIL is making the college landscape so different, and a drop there by
touchdown.
Who was that?
I think that was
who is
Wicks.
That? Wicks. Okay, Wicks. Yeah.
That
was
Wicks.
A touchdown.
But
it was tipped.
Did you see who? I think Colorado's going to win the national championship in the next 2 years.
Ooh.
Because a lot of people are expecting it to end. Now, I was just saying, like, we don't know for sure if there's ever going to be another Travis Hunter. That's like, that might be the peak. But there is a player, and he was a high school quarterback that, like, at 12 years old, he like skipped a couple grades. He's super smart. And then he became like the number one quarterback in the country. And as a freshman, he was playing varsity, and he was already getting recruited because like as an 8th grader, he was just amazing.
Dominant. Yeah.
But he's like ridiculously smart as well. And he, on the Pat McAfee show, I think it was 3 months ago, he, on the Pat McAfee show, live committed to Colorado. He put the hat on.
Oh, shit.
And that was like, oh, wow. Like Colorado.
That kind of spot.
Yeah. And I was trying to explain this to Morty. Here's, a dart to Reed.
Great catch.
It looks like my 31-0 is going to happen.
Look, Crafty said it. Smart move by the Packers to let their lesser quarterback get some reps tonight before bringing Willis in. I mean, look at the difference. Look at the difference.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to explain this to Morty because he's such a Florida State fan that he hates Deion Sanders because Deion never like, went back to Florida State, and like, he was just like, all about the program. He just kind of moved on with his life.
Didn't he say they didn't want him?
Like as head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was something like that. But it was like, there's certain guys that go to college somewhere and they're like, for life, I'm going to be, Crimson Tide or whatever. Like Deion Sanders really was just like, this was just a chapter of my life and it's over. He's not really committed to it anymore.
He worked in the HBCUs at Jackson, and Colorado's like, dude, we're going to offer you a ton of money. Brother T in the house, Brother T. My boy.
That goal.
Oh,
Boo! Boo!
What's going on over here, guys?
Oh, hi there. Hey there. Ho there. What you got there?
On?
We got a special guest, Brother T, on the Only Football Podcast. Love to see
Who's
it, Brother
that?
T.
Who's in here right now? Who do we got? Casey.
We got
I know Casey.
Crafty,
Crafty.
Jinja. Where's Bill? Where's Bill? We got Bill in here.
I got this ball for this kid.
Nick.
Dude, this is sick. I never get to hold this. I always
Really?
keep fucking around with it. Are
Smell.
we gonna score again? Oh, weird.
Touchdown?
Josh Jacobs should have had 4 touchdowns. Why'd they put in the undrafted free agent?
He might be short.
On the
Oh,
one-
Touchdown.
Kyle.
Touchdown.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No, it wasn't
Emmanuel
even
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah, he did score. Josh Jason, he got one.
This
Yeah,
would be a-
but he was on the 1 yard line. It was the
This kid has 2 now. You should have put fucking Emmanuel Wilson at 2.
nobody put him in.
Hey, Tyler. Ginger just said my pants just got shorter when you hopped in.
Is it because you have a boner?
That would be it. Yeah, that would be the.
Okay, I thought he was making fun of my shorts. Like,
No, they can't see your
they're
shorts.
pretty high.
Quite.
They do have a pattern. I didn't see that.
Dude, I could see balls.
Yeah, dude, I'm loaded. I have a bad personality,
Dude,
but
giant
at least,
balls.
I'm just gonna say, tiny penis, but like I have,
Tiny
Brother-
dick.
Brother T's
Big
got the
balls.
biggest balls. he pisses on his balls.
Dude, it happens. It really does. That's not a thing that people just say. Like,
It happens. It happens.
yeah,
Oh my god.
the real Packers QB. What's up, guys?
But I was just telling them because Morty was like, when you say who's the best Florida State player ever,
Ginger.
he won't say Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he's the only. All right,
He doesn't like him.
He specifically hates. He hates Deion because Deion, post Florida State, did a lot of work with the University of Miami, and our friend Morty is just a really diehard, like, obnoxious
Yeah,
fan.
I feel that. I feel that.
So he you can't speak logically with him. You know what I mean? It's got to
Yeah.
be like
If it's anti-Florida State,
nothing.
yep.
You know,
I get
so
it.
that doesn't make sense to me.
I get it. Because if it's Packers anything, I just go boo. Fuck
Honestly,
that.
yeah, you got to go Deion probably 1. And this is gonna
Just-
this
Just
sound
best
crazy.
player?
Yeah, Deion
Oh.
is the best athlete that Florida State's ever seen. But
Mm.
Easily.
in my lifetime, I got 2 more that I really like. I want to highlight is Dalvin
Mm.
Cook.
And work done.
Worked on. I didn't see play, but yeah. Dalvin Cook, I would say. I would also want to throw out an honorable mention, Jameis Winston. One of the
That's not even an honorable mention.
one of the better college quarterbacks.
He went 28-1,
yeah,
won a national
Yeah.
championship, went
Yep.
to what I think did he-
won a national championship. Yeah,
yeah,
Like
and then-
him, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow in college, they're just like the goats.
yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow.
I played ball with Tim Tebow.
Joe, I would put Jameis, Cam, Tim Tebow over Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow had one really great year at LSU where he won the national championship. But Jameis and
But also-
Cam Newton and
and
all them
Burrow,
had
those
really
are-
good years, plural.
Yeah,
Those are 2 historic college football teams.
Tebow's team, that
Tebow,
whole team
yeah.
was
Yeah.
like
If anything, you look at Jameis Winston's team. He had Kelvin Benjamin, who showed up to his rookie year 30 pounds overweight.
That's true.
Nobody
Oh,
does
yeah.
in
I think
history
he
of
was with the
NFL. He was like
Panthers.
6'6" or something like that. Just a freak of nature. Could have been the next Megatron.
yeah. Who did they have?
Who?
Who?
That Florida State team with Jameis Winston
I mean,
offensively.
yeah, that was 2013.
20
I think.
13, yeah, because
They had-
13?
yeah, because I remember the Broncos won the Super Bowl and Florida State won the national championship.
Let's see.
Was that post Dalvin Cook? Yeah.
No, that was
Cook.
pre-Dalvin.
That was pre-Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, Kelvin Benjamin, just like Tyler said.
Oh, I know one was Geno
Kermit Whitfield,
No, Gino went to Virginia Tech.
Jared Higgins,
No,
Haggins.
Yeah.
Rashad Golston.
Not the quarterback.
I'm sorry. I literally just smoked a joint and came up here.
Matthew McNulty at wide receiver. Who else?
Calvin Benjamin, tight end was good.
Yeah, dude. We always had. I think
Yeah.
his name was like O'Malley or something. We had a nice white tight end.
Oh, Nick O'Leary.
Nick
Yeah.
O'Leary. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Brandon
Why do I
Musgrave.
remember the kicker? The kicker's still in the league.
Oh yeah, Graham Gano.
Gano. Graham Gano.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
shit. Graham Gano was on
Graham
that
Gano,
team?
dude. Low key, when nobody
Wow.
knows about this, Graham Gano started this.
No shit. He did that?
All the NBA players, NFL players, he was the first one to ever say, "I got ice in my veins." He
Oh,
would
wow.
kick long ass kicks, and he'd go. As a
That's
white dude.
crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a white dude.
Yeah,
It was like
you heard
Who-
it here first, folks.
Who says white people have no culture? Come
yeah,
on now.
like we don't get much. We got Christian McCaffrey.
We got Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelsey.
I don't know if you guys watch Bussin', but Will Compton every year he does a white versus black game. And he
Does he?
No, we talked about this. We thought it was dumb.
No, it was that was because Rashad Mendenhall had mentioned it.
Oh yeah, Rashawn Mendenhall, who was
Mhm.
irrelevant until he said that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
People, and he was like, "What?" I forgot. What did he say?
Will always picks up there.
He was just saying something about how if you put an all black team together, they would crush the all white NFL team. Something like that.
Yeah, out of nowhere, and then
And then Will
when
Compton, the boy, was like, "Nah, dude, we'll put up a roster real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corner wise, we're probably cooked."
we got Riley Moss,
Cooper DeJean.
Yep.
Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell.
You got fucking your safety, Denver Broncos safety,
John Lynch,
John Lynch at safety,
The quarterback. Josh
Peyton
Allen.
Manning.
Peyton Manning. No, Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Oh, it's active.
It's active. That's what
Oh.
Easy. It's not even a debate. Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers?
No,
I'm kidding.
Not fucking active. Hell
Christian
no.
McCaffrey, and then at wide receiver, I think you got Ladd McConkey as wide receiver 3,
Wide receiver 1.
wide receiver 1. Let's throw in Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen.
No, chill the fuck out.
Cooper Kupp, yes. Adam Thielen.
Now let me ask you.
I think that might be it.
No, definitely
What
not.
if they're Hawaiian? All right, you're right.
No, that's no.
We're not even in the ballpark.
You're right. You're right.
It's like, where do you draw the line at that point?
All right, come on. All right,
Ginger said, Manning, goddammit. Rick, I hope a stranger smacks you in the mouth over picking Brady.
Oh, Dalton Kincaid.
Don Kincaid, tight
Wait,
end.
Travis Kelsey.
Travis Kelsey, 2 tight end set. Both of those guys.
We're going to run double tight ends.
Double tight end. Bo Nix at quarterback.
No.
Bo Nix.
Nick said Bo Nix.
I'm not taking Travis Kelce.
What is Puka? Puka is Hawaiian or Polynesian.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
I mean,
What
I
is
keep
that
forgetting
about?
that you're trying to do like a
This
1 year.
This year.
Kittle over Kincaid.
Not for nothing. I know I sound like a homer, but my boy Tucker Kraft.
There's
Yeah,
at
I'm
least
thinking throw him
5 tight ends I'd take over Kraft right now.
Yeah, I would
Brock
take
Bowers being
Go.
one of them.
Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta.
Laporta, Kincaid.
What year is Tucker Kraft?
What's his name? Mark Andrews, Ravens. He always gets hurt though. He gets hurt a lot.
Who?
Mark Andrews, Ravens.
Oh, yeah, he does get hurt a lot, but that's still a good pick.
Yeah.
We shut them out. What a great way to go into the playoffs.
But if you went all time, you could put
All-
together a ridiculous team.
I mean,
Gronk would be number 1 all time.
I know, but that's what I'm
who's the
saying. It
greatest
would
black
be
quarterback of all time.
Lamar Jackson.
No,
The greatest black
Yeah.
quarterback of all time.
Lamar Jackson.
Steve
I'd take.
No.
Is this weird? Is it?
McNair over
Donovan
Lamar.
McNabb.
Over
Is it?
Lamar Jackson.
Donovan McNabb.
Wait. What about Mike Vick?
Not over Lamar. Lamar broke all of his records.
True. I guess if you want like a scrambler type, Lamar's number one.
this year and go back to back.
Nick said half of Patrick Mahomes.
No, also, yeah, that's a great fucking point. Do we get Pat? And honestly,
No.
you know,
He's from Texas.
You know the athleticism comes from him being half black. Come on.
I've never heard him drop it. Not singing in a car. Not,
I've never heard him singing in a car or in traffic.
or in a car.
Oh, yeah, because you think he's gonna.
so we get him.
You know who has done it and looks way whiter? Logic. Logic drops that N-word like a motherfucker.
I think actually, you could make a case for Joe Burrow as well.
That's
For
the greatest white quarterback. Oh, black quarterback.
No, like
Joe Burrow, greatest black quarterback of all time.
I think Joe Burrow. If I had one game and you said you have to beat Mahomes, I would take Joe Burrow, the only quarterback to beat Mahomes.
No, Tom Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. What do you mean?
Yeah, but Tom Brady's not playing, so we have to do.
Oh, active. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I missed that part. My bad.
Run the ball.
Yeah. I would take Joe Burrow
I
too.
can. Called it. It's 31-0. Oh!
Oh! We would line McCaffrey out wide and run that Jacobs kid.
What about McCaffrey's brother?
Is that
Wait, no.
Luke
Luke McCaffrey. He's
on the
playing-
Commanders?
I think he got a touchdown yesterday.
I think so too. Yeah, he was doing pretty well.
Touchdown.
Mm-hmm. I would take Vic over Lamar though. He's my dog.
For real.
A killer.
I'm taking Brian Urlacher,
Vicious. Brian
Yeah,
Urlacher, linebacker.
Jared Allen.
AJ Hawk.
No, not over Brian Urlacher.
Luke Kuechly.
Maybe.
Luke Kuechly, Brian Urlacher, Jared Allen.
Defensive end. Yeah.
Yeah, DN.
Outside, Clay Matthews.
No, why are you just Packers?
I don't know.
Clay Matthews was pretty good. I don't know if he was a top of line.
Clay
though.
Matthews isn't in the Hall of Fame, and neither is AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk has the most tackles in
AJ Hawk had a lot. AJ Hawk was there for a while.
He's a really
AJ
great
Hawk is a
Packer,
dog.
but he's not like on that list of like your tier one. Your Brian Urlacher, Ed
Yeah.
Reed, Ray Lewis.
Well, it depends if we're going just white linebackers. I don't know.
Well,
Dick
like,
Butkus?
if we're- honestly, Brian Urlacher's the best white linebacker of all time.
I love him. Do not get me wrong, but Luke Kuechly, if he had played a few more years, he'd
only
probably be up
played
there.
5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah,
So
and if he had
I
played
think
more,
qualifies him as the greatest of all time.
yeah,
Same
if
thing
he
with Andrew Luck. I mean, he could have been one of the greats.
true.
The way
True.
he came in,
You gotta stand. I'm
what are you trying to figure out?
We were on linebacker. You're like Andrew Luck.
Well, no, that's the weave. We're just that's a point to say Luke Kuechly, could he have been one of the greats had he played a whole career? Maybe, but
Yeah.
he retired early.
Andrew Luck is like that. He's
No, he wasn't.
Oh,
Like
8 years?
5 or 6 years, and his retirement was super surprising.
Yeah, he came in
Did
the
it-
same year as RG3 in 2012,
somebody
2013.
How long was
He came
Andrew
in-
Luck in the league.
He came
know.
into the league in 2012 because that was the year that Manning was traded to the Broncos, and
Yeah.
and he had that neck surgery. So the Colts were 1-15. They
Then we
drafted Andrew Luck. The first year they went to the playoffs. Second year they beat the Broncos in the playoffs. The third year, I think they went to the AFC Championship game against the
Mhm.
Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was like a year where he was just injured the whole entire season. And then I think he had another like injury-riddled season. I think that was it. I think it was like 6.
Jen
But
just
he was,
saying.
He was like on.
I was gonna say he's saying
No.
thanks for reminding me of Luck. Haven't thought about that fuck in a while. No, and you're right, because then he retired in a preseason game against the Bears, and I think it was 2021.
6 seasons.
Oh, so it was like 2020.
That's like really short for somebody
He was the
that's
first round
crushing
draft
it.
pick, yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody that's like, I mean, there's records that he still holds as a rookie.
Mm-hmm. It's
I mean,
crazy.
he led the Colts to the AFC Championship game in 2014. I was at that game. They beat us in the divisional round. Luck missed
God.
the entire season due to a shoulder injury in 2017. He was named Comeback Player of the Year in 2018, and then in 2019 he retired. But do you remember that the Colts fans were booing
2019.
because it was preseason, and at
Yep.
halftime they
Yep.
all got a buzz on their phone,
Yep.
and it said breaking news: Andrew Luck retired.
And as he was leaving that preseason game, they were booing him as he was going
Booed
through
him
the
out of
tunnel.
the stadium.
That was so bad. So bad.
It was like, holy crap! They just
Yeah.
booed this guy out of the stadium. He put his, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, you could put together a pretty good squad.
Yeah. I love that. Have you guys ever seen the meme where it's like guys can just sit around naming
Oh yeah.
this sports player for hours? I was like, that's what we literally did for like 20 minutes.
What'd you do this weekend? He's like, we all named the best players in the MLB from 1995 whose name started with R. She's like,
We could just do that.
he's like, we had the best weekend ever.
And we're right here being like, all right, come up with all white defense and offense.
All right, so let's finish this team. Let's finish an offense.
We did. What are we
We
missing?
got Cooper Cup at
Tom
Cooper
Brady,
Kupp,
wait, no.
Cooper Cup.
If it's all time, Wes Welker.
you said it's
All
okay.
time
We're
now.
doing all time now.
All time offense. All time white offense go.
All time white
No,
offense.
I'm doing.
I'm going Julian Edelman over Wes
doing Ed
Welker.
McCaffrey.
Probably top. Is that all three?
I'm putting Ed McCaffrey in.
Is that all three though?
McCaffrey.
White receiver. Yeah. I mean,
Wes Welker has to be.
I'm trying to think. There's got it. No, I mean, obviously Brandon Stokely was really good.
Ed McCaffrey, I'm sorry, but no.
yeah.
I'm
Stokely was good.
Brandon Stokely. Brandon Stokely was like,
Cooper Cup, Edelman, Wes Welker. Baller.
you're just.
I would rather look. I would rather put in Cooper Cup than Wes Welker.
You're crazy. Well, yeah, but they're two different
Yeah.
positions.
I would put in Cooper Cup over Wes Welker.
Yeah, you got too many slots. You need a
You need
an
a big bodied.
deep threat with.
There's not that many. There's not that many big bodied deep threat wide
Yeah, we need
receivers.
another one. I don't want it to just be a bunch of Tom Brady teams.
Wide out.
I'm
Quarterback is Tom Brady. All time, it's Tom Brady.
I still think
Running back, fucking put in.
I would
Hillis.
take Mahomes over Tom Brady
Mahomes.
easily.
we give him
Are we going white or are we going all
Oh, yeah.
time?
Well,
We get it. He's never dropped him. We already went over this.
but I would even say I think I would take Josh Allen or John Elway over Tom Brady. I just feel
You're
like there was
fucking
people that were
high.
more talented than Tom Brady.
Yeah, but Tom Brady has clutch DNA and championship DNA. I'm taking Tom Brady all day. All day.
He's a big ass.
Josh Allen has won nothing.
He's good. He was a good quarterback, dude. But for me, he just never did it for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, well, this is just like personal opinions. So
Never
I mean,
got you off. Never got you there.
Allen over Tom Brady.
I've never watched Tom Brady like I even like his comebacks. Like it's different. There's different types of quarterbacks. Like there's quarterbacks that you watch and you're just like, how did he make that throw? The athleticism. Mahomes does this to you. Like Josh Allen does this to you.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers
but
made-
Brady was like Michael Jordan and Kobe. They had that killer
He
DNA.
never made those throws. He didn't have a big arm.
That's such a bad comparison because, like, it was like Kobe and Shaq one year, and then after Shaq left, Kobe still won. Michael Jordan won without like amazing. Yes, he won with like Pippen and
Yeah, but he'd take over
Rodman.
games. He'd take over games.
yeah, like that's what people like fuck up with that Jordan argument a lot. Like you have Bill Belichick as your starting, and like you can just go on and on and on about the teammates that fucking Tom Brady had. Randy Moss, Wes Welker.
He never won a Super Bowl with Randy Moss.
Gronk, probably the GOAT.
But he never won a Super Bowl with Randy Moss. Don't get me wrong. Gronk is a Hall of Fame tight end. Julian Edelman. Name
Kelsey and Mahomes. They were the first ones to be like, hey, just like get open.
But I also don't feel like the better team always wins the Super Bowl.
Go back to the quarterback thing. It's like I said, I totally agree with. It's like you wouldn't see him as a standalone player and just making plays like out of the pocket and like being an athlete.
Well,
You know,
that's like
necess-
John Elway is before our generation, but the way people talk about watching
Marino.
John play
Dan Marino
what-
is very similar.
was like
Dan
very
Marino?
much like Josh Allen. Like Colin Cowherd even says he's like
yeah.
Josh Allen is the most. It was John Elway. Now it's Josh Allen, where you're watching him play and you're just like Josh Allen will just go on a 55-yard run out
Yeah.
of nowhere. And like Lamar does that. Lamar can do that too. And I feel like Lamar doesn't, he hasn't won the big game. But
Mhm.
like if we put all that aside for a second and just be like, okay, well, what quarterback like just has the biggest wow factor? Like that's the greatest talent to touch the football.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the Super Bowl, because like Dan Marino doesn't have one. Drew Brees only had one. Drew Brees reminds me a lot of Tom Brady. Like Brees,
You're
yeah,
crazy.
well, in the way where like Drew Brees was
You're crazy.
very precise. He was surgical, but he never really like wowed you. Not me, but like they wow you in a different way.
Remember who Breeze like had around him?
Yeah, but why does
Crazy.
it have to be a
Tom Brady had
wow
years
factor
with
though?
him. Like Wes Walker, these guys were guys because of Tom. Just like Peyton Manning, like Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. It's like you mentioned
I
these
think
names,
those
but
guys aren't guys because of Tom. I think those guys were guys who were Bill Belichick, who they get developed a little bit, and they're like, yes, not necessarily.
the quarterback always
I just
makes. That's why it's never a coincidence that the greatest quarterbacks you can name their receivers.
Yeah.
It's because the quarterbacks made them
You
great.
have your Marvin Harrison.
well, so like this is I'm gonna have to agree with Bill here. We got to go with Eli Manning. He beat Tom Brady.
See, that's why I don't go straight off Super Bowls.
Well, I'm not necessarily going off Super Bowls with Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, like how many 2-minute drills did he have to win games? Like you're telling
he's
me
super clutch. But
Yeah.
we're talking just like the greatest talent to touch the ball.
Just the
Not
quarterback
even
position.
situational, not
Just the
even like
quarterback
2
position.
minutes left, one timeout, you need to go down the field.
Yeah.
Not even that type of a situation. Like Manning's worst year is when we won the Super Bowl. But people will be like, well, he won the Super Bowl. But I'm like, no, he was way better in 2013 when he broke all the records. But there's no ring. So people, maybe will be like, oh, yeah, Tom is better. You know what I mean?
So,
It's like
but then
the-
who would be
I
the
think
guy
they
then
get
if
away
it's
with
not
the
Tom
ring.
Brady?
Why what?
Who would be the guy then if it's not Tom Brady?
I want you guys.
I think it'd be
challenge
Mahomes.
you- I challenge you to think about it this way.
I
it's
think
weird
it is
because
Mahomes.
I was thinking that too, only because think about it like Madden. Think about if you were just going like, oh, it's out of the pocket. He has the long ball. His awareness is good. He's creative. He knows the game in and out. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
every single attribute, like one, speed, height, all of that shit. That is what I'm talking about
Mahomes.
Yeah,
all time.
Yeah.
all time. Yeah,
He's
why
already
not?
the greatest of all time.
He's already there. His stats are way better than Brady's his first 6
Yeah,
seasons, 7 seasons.
He's got 3 or 4 Super Bowls. If he wins this year, he'll be the first ever to win 3 in a row. I'll take a beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like when you see Mahomes play, you're like, I mean, his first season we watched him play, we knew that we were witnessing I felt like we were witnessing the greatest quarterback ever to
Mhm.
do it. It just was like, it's going to take time, but like what is the worst season Mahomes has had since he started is a loss in the AFC Championship.
To
Like,
Burrow,
that's his
yeah.
floor.
Yeah.
That's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the same as Tom Brady. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't once been bounced early from the playoffs, and he's won
YA
Super Bowls
total.
with the most unlikely teams. Like last year. Last year was like, there's no way he's going to win the Super Bowl. And look at this year. It's such a terrible team, but they're 15-1 or 14-1. It's just like, I think if you fast forward 10 years from now, I don't think there's going to be anybody that's still thinking Tom Brady's better than Mahomes.
Now,
Unless
yeah.
for personal reasons, like hate Mahomes, then like
yeah, or he falls off a cliff entirely.
yeah, which would I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, the way he trains and takes care of his body,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, he's just and he definitely like does things that Tom could never do. Like his improvising behind the pocket, his backyard football, switching the ball to his left hand and throwing it. Like Tom never did that shit.
Right.
So
I think all time at this point, Mahomes is just so fucking good. He's just so fucking good. And it sucks.
It's going to piss off a lot of people too, because there's going to be kids that they were 12 years old when he started, and now they're what, 18? And they're like, he's the greatest of all time. And it's like, shut up. You never even saw Tom Brady.
Nick, he said he's 20. Nick said he's 20. That's all Nick's known is Patrick Mahomes' domination.
That's crazy, Nick.
That's insane.
So you have no idea what it was like before.
This is a good convo. I think we got to have more of these with Brother T, because that was good. That was good. But let's wrap it up, Kyle. Let's wrap up this Packers domination. Talking about domination, the Packers dominated the Saints and pitched a shutout, 34-0. I mean, you called this. You called a complete domination. I had them win. I had them scoring a touchdown. This went as expected, really, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Packers right now and just kind of pull away, because you got to remember that the Packers were 2-2 at one point in the season.
Yep.
So whenever people get to that point, and plus Jordan Love was hurt and then he kind of came back, but even when he came back, he lost to the Vikings, and it's like people make up their minds really early. It takes a long time to convince people otherwise. But if you just look at what is going on, it's been over a month now of this. The Packers beat the 49ers 38-10. Okay? That's an ass whooping. And then the Dolphins, with everything on the line on Thanksgiving, they got their ass whooped. They lose by a field goal in the last second to the Lions. All right. Then the Seahawks, ass whooping.
Yeah.
You know, if you just take their last two games, they've outscored their opponents 64-13.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and the Packers are scoring. I mean, this is 5 games in a row of scoring 30 or more points. So the offense is really in a rhythm. Josh Jacobs is one of the better running backs in the NFL this year. The Packers are the 5th most successful team running the football. 5th most rushing yards, 144 rushing yards per game. And their passing offense does take a little bit of a dip because of that, but not by much. Green Bay's a top 10, or they're 11th. But the top 10 is Dallas at 10, 232.9. Green Bay's 231.1. So it's like they're 1 yard. You can just call it a top 10 passing offense. So you got a top 5 passing offense,
11th.
a top 5 rushing offense. Then the rushing defense is ranked 10th, only giving up 105 yards per game. And then you look at their passing defense, in Green Bay's 16th, but a lot of that is because these teams are playing from behind. They're throwing it a bunch. But even last week against Seattle, they only gave up 128 passing yards.
Yep.
So, like, when you look at this Packers team, you're like, to me, I think that they're the most complete team in the league. right now, they are the team that I don't think anybody would want to face. Now, the one thing about it is Jordan Love. He's got the playoff experience from last year, but is that going to be enough for him this year?
Yep.
And these receivers, you got Christian Watson dealing with injuries all season, kind of injuries. And then this week he got hurt and then came back in and threw his helmet and was hurt again. Romeo Doubs, like ideally one of these guys is going to need to step up, but who's it going to be? Because last year it was Jaden Reed. In the month of December, Jaden Reed was like, I'm the number one. And that was the case throughout the postseason. Nobody's done that this year. And a big no, the numbers still aren't there.
No,
he had
I'm
3
saying
catches.
in the game, like mentally watching that game, like I was. He literally would be catching the balls and going, me. He was like,
Yeah, he still is like that, but the numbers aren't there like they were last year. Last year, he was getting 8 to 10 targets. Yeah, he's not getting targeted the same. And a large reason of that is because the Packers are a running football team. They run the ball more than any team in the league in the first half. Over 50% of their plays are runs. And they're having a lot of success doing it, which is the recipe for postseason success. Play good defense and run the football.
Yep.
So the Packers, if they want to win in the postseason, I think they can't play from behind. They got to either take the early lead or they need to just keep it within striking distance the whole time. Yep. But I just don't know which team would be a huge threat because.
Dude, did I miss a super chat when I got beers?
50.
Hey, KC.
Guys, read the chat.
KC, $50 super chat. Thanks, guys. You made a boring game watchable. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, KC. Happy holidays. Cheers. I'll do a dance. I'll do the Josh Allen outro we used to have. KC, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. But you're right. Oh my God. And then followed by a Bill sad stat from the Packers media guy Wes. Largest margin of victory since Green Bay's 55-14 win over the Bears in 2014. Bill, why'd you do that to me, Bill? What did I do to you other than shit talk the Giants all season? What have I done to you other than that?
We're breaking down the game here.
Real quick, Crafty. I was in his bag. Just dropping stat on stat. He's like, also another stat. I was like, wait, you guys just made 50 bucks.
We didn't even have to show balls either. That was all Tyler.
Not this time.
That's on our other channel, Older Fans. Never got
the Eagles and the Lions and then the Vikings. Like those are the 3 teams. And then you got the Rams, who I think are one of those sneaky teams.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be enough. Same like last year where they went into Detroit and they really played their best game and the Lions were just 3 points better.
Yep.
I think that's what we're looking at this year. So in the Vikings, they're the best, record wise, if they beat the Lions week 18, they're going to be the 1 seed and the Lions are going to be the 5. But do you really think the Vikings are the best team in the NFC?
I would say currently 3rd best. I put the Packers 4th best. I do.
It's okay. They play next week. So that'll be
it'll be a good test because I think I totally agree that no team wants to play the Packers right now, especially the way they're winning games, especially with how you're saying it. They run the ball 50% of the time, and they're doing it effectively. They're doing it top 5 type of stats. So I don't think you want to play that type of team because you're going to get your ass kicked in the run game because Josh Jacobs is a big mofo and he's going to run right through you. So yeah, I agree. You don't want to play them.
Rushing defense in the league.
The Packers?
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay. So then that would be a really good test this coming week. Week 17 is going to be a very, very good game to watch because there's still, I would say, not necessarily playoff implications for either of these teams. The Packers are almost more than likely in. Vikings
I think
already
they
in.
clinched today.
Oh, did they clinch? Oh, they did. Yep. Packers clinch playoff spot for second straight season. Yep. So they're 100% in. So there's really no implications in this game. It's just more so for the Vikings in terms of seeding. Like they want to win against the Packers so that next week against the Lions, they can try to get that number 1 seed if possible, right?
Yeah,
So
the Vikings have everything to play for.
exactly. And we got Brother T with a $20 super chat. Kyle is gay. Packers for the Super Bowl dub. Brother T, thank you for the super chat. And Kyle is indeed gay. So let's the implications for the Vikings, like you said, Kyle, is all about seeding. Let's get the number 1 seed. We are a good enough team to do that, but we got to beat our rivals in Detroit, and that's the Lions, who are dealing with injuries right now, and they got to beat the Packers. You're right; they got to win these last 2, and they've got to be able to beat the Detroit Lions to get that number 1 seed. I think that is the only route that the Vikings get the number 1 seed. The Eagles have a lot more. They need a lot more things to go correctly to get the number 1 seed. So really it's between the Vikings and the Lions at this point. So these 2 teams have everything to go. Yeah. And I was seeing something earlier though, but they need a lot of things to go right, the Eagles, to get that number 1 seed. Vikings.
Well, how would that even happen? Because they lost to the Commanders. So that's 3 losses. The Packers, I guess, would need to beat the Vikings. But then if the Lions beat the Vikings, because you would need you know what I mean? You need the Vikings to lose twice. Then the Lions would end up with a better record than the Eagles because the Lions would be winning that game. Unless it was the Lions and Vikings lose next week, and then the Lions – or no, you would need – yeah, I don't see a path for the Eagles anymore to get the 1 unless I'm missing something.
I saw it earlier on an Instagram post, and that's the reason I brought it up, was like the Eagles need a lot of things to go right in their way so they can get the number 1 seed. So the Vikings
I don't
remember where
to lose. So here's what's weird. If the Lions and Vikings are playing each other, then one of those is going to win. So one of those is going to go to 14 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then all you really have left is next week. Vikings play the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So you would need the Packers to win. And then the Eagles would have to win their final 2, which would put them at 14-3. But it can't be a tie with the Vikings because the Vikings have the tiebreaker over the Eagles because they have a better conference record. They're 8-2, and the Eagles are 7-3 conference-wise. So
let's see.
The only way would be for the Lions to finish, I guess, with the same record because the Lions conference record, well, they're 9-1, so I think they're fucked no matter what.
Can I ask you that question? I don't want to make this a Packers conversation, but I really want to know, like, Kyle, I just heard you say that you think they're the best team right now, actively. Like, do you think they take the NFC North? Like, do you think that they're the best? Like, I as a fan don't see them beating the Lions.
Packers or
the Packers? They don't play the Lions.
We won't again.
Not for the rest of this year.
It wouldn't be like.
Well, the thing, if the Lions are the 1 seed,
Mm-hmm.
then you got, because the Vikings are going to end up most likely being the 5, and then Green Bay would be the 6, and then the Commanders would be the 7.
Mm-hmm.
So the 7 is going to play the 2. The Lions will be on a bye week. So that would mean the Commanders would be playing the Eagles, right?
So I'm sorry, I'm still on this number 1 thing.
So, yeah, the Eagles would be playing the Commanders, and then the Packers and the wild card will be playing the Vikings. And then the Falcons or Bucks would play the Rams.
Oh, wait. So I found it. I found the way the Eagles could get it. So the Eagles have to win out, obviously. The Lions and the Vikings week 17 have to lose, and then the Vikings beat the Lions in week 18. The Eagles and Vikings would both finish 14-3. the Eagles would have the common opponent's tiebreaker over the Vikings since both teams would have the same conference record. That common opponent was the Rams and Packers, whom the Eagles defeated and Vikings did not. So that is the only way the Eagles have any chance at the number 1 seed, which Vikings, Lions lose next week. Vikings beat the Lions week 18. Eagles win out, and the common opponent stuff goes that way. That's the only way the Eagles get the number 1.
Who's Mile High? That's awesome.
He'll pop in here every once in a while, Mile High.
Both teams.
Sounds
I
like
put in a $2 bet that the Broncos and Packers were going to play in the Super Bowl, and it paid out like $3,500.
Holy shit. For $2, I would have put 100 on it. What if Vikes beat Lions and Packs beat Vikes? Yep, that's the only way. That is the only way.
The only way the
Wait,
Packers.
Say it again.
So what if the Vikings beat the Lions and the Packers beat the Vikings? So again, that's the only way. Like Vikings and Lions have to lose next week.
Obvious. That would be the NFC Championship game, and I already have that as my NFC Championship because I do think the Packers beat the Vikings, and I do think that you got to keep in mind the Rams or the Falcons are going to be playing. It could be the Bucks. But the Falcons or the Bucks are going to be playing the 5 seed, which would be the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vikings would win that game. So you would have the 5 seed remaining, and the 6 would actually be playing the 3. And the 3 seed is the Rams. So the Packers would actually play the Rams. The Bucks, I'm going to call it the Bucks for now. The Bucks would be playing the Vikings. So I think the Vikings probably would win that game, and the Packers would win. So the only seeds remaining would be the 6, the 5, the 1, and the 2, because the Eagles would be playing the 7, which is the Commanders. I think they would take that. So then the Lions would come out of the bye week playing the lowest remaining seed, and that would be the Packers because they would be the 6th seed. So you're not even going to have to wait to the NFC Championship. Most likely, you're going to get Lions Packers in the divisional round right away. So because the Packers are going to be the 6th seed, and I think they're going to be able to take care of business against whoever they play in the wild card round.
Well, I mean, either way, it's going to be
the Lions
crazy week 17 and 18, highlighted by some Christmas football, some Thursday. What is it? Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Week 17,
Saturday's
right?
a playoff game too. Broncos, Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah, you're right. So week 17 has got a lot going on. Week 18 is going to have even more. Kyle, did you have anything else on this game? Or Brother T, did you guys have anything else on this game before we get out of here?
You got anything about the Packers?
Dude, we kicked some ass.
Yeah.
See, like you can't talk too much shit. Obviously, it was a fucking backup quarterback. You know.
But you're supposed to beat them.
You're supposed
You
to.
gotta beat them.
That's what we did.
100%. The Packers took care of business.
It's hard to execute that, so it's cool to like see like a game plan like that and be like, oh, we're supposed to do this, and we fucking did it.
Yep.
It's
I
really
get you.
your fucking starting quarterback isn't in the fourth quarter.
And last thing I have, since I know that we're not recapping, I'm gonna do a recap, but I just wanted to tell you, can we stop calling Mike McCarthy a bad coach?
No.
My mom.
The Cowboys with nothing to play for, beating Tampa Bay and the Bucks.
Cool.
Look at the way the Cowboys, they've won now 5 of their last 6 against Commanders, the Bucks.
I never said he was a bad coach. I called him a loser coach.
That's the same
But he's
thing.
one of the winningest coaches of the last 30 years.
That's the same thing.
With 1 Super Bowl.
I honestly don't think it's a coach thing.
That's
I
so
think
many
it's a
more
GM
than
thing.
95%
I
of
think
coaches.
I think it's above him. I think it's a GM thing. I think it's an organizational thing.
Well, in Green Bay, it was an organizational thing.
Wasn't there like really bad stories of Mike McCarthy come after he left Green Bay, like his last 2 years or so?
Did you? when he left?
No, it was Mike McCarthy coached the Packers until what, 2017?
Mike McCarthy. Oh, like when did he leave the Packers? He left in like 2020.
2018. He was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
He took a year off.
I guess so, yeah. But there was a lot of I pretty sure I remember a lot of bad things coming out of the Packers in terms of Mike McCarthy, like the way he kind of went about the last year or 2 years of being the Packers head coach, how he kind of didn't really care. And I don't want to, and I say didn't really care in that perspective of the stories that came out. I don't know if he cared or not. I don't fucking know the guy, but the stories made it seem like he didn't really care about coaching a winning football team.
All I've been saying this whole time is like, people are just like, oh, you need to fire McCarthy. And I'm like, there's not coaches as good as McCarthy everywhere. He is Sean Payton. He's got the same resume, one Super Bowl, most 40-point games in the last 3 years, great offenses, 12-win seasons in a row. And they're just like, oh, we need to fire him. And I'm just like, well, who do you got in mind to come fill the spot? Because like
Matt Eberflus,
like a public opinion, like it's not Rick because he's a Bears fan. Like everybody feels like Mike McCarthy's just like a little. Yeah. I feel like he's one of the more underrated coaches I've ever witnessed.
No, he's great.
Like I just don't know how you continually have the success that he's had year in and year out for over a decade, and people are still like, pass. I think it's because of the semantics. Like on the sideline, he's not fired up. You know, maybe the way he looks, he's kind of chubby. Like,
dude,
I'm not sure. Like,
mother today who recognized Mike McCarthy from being on the Packers was watching. I don't know if it was today. She was watching the Cowboys and she was like, "Is that Mike McCarthy? He's fat." I was like, "Yeah, Mom. He's been with Dallas for years now."
And he's been fat for years.
He was pretty skinny when he took the Packers job.
Really?
All that cheese got to him.
All that cheese and beer.
No, now
look. At the end of the day, McCarthy, all the things you're saying about him, they're just facts, right? Like he's won a Super Bowl. He's got a ton of 40-point games. He runs an awesome offense. He scored a shit ton of points last year with the Dallas Cowboys. Totally facts. He's just a loser coach. What did he do in the playoffs against the Packers? Lost. Badly. It was an embarrassment. And like, it's been a long time since the Super Bowl in 2011.
Exactly. Dak sucked in that game.
That's also a GM thing because ultimately, when you look,
look at the Cowboys and their issue with Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
But they won the NFC East last year, and they got to the divisional
team. Your job is to coach them. You know, only certain people like Belichick and like certain people get to pick their roster. Like
Jerry Jones still drafts all of the team too.
And he's legitimately playing the hands he's dealt. Like that's what Mike McCarthy's doing. So like, why do you think he's like, I don't know, on the sideline? I'd be like, bro, I'm doing the best I fucking can.
As a GM in terms of acquisitions through free agency in the offseason, Jerry Jones sucks. But he drafted Dak. He drafted Micah Parsons. He drafted CeeDee Lamb. He drafted that one tackle that everybody loves on the Cowboys. He drafted Zeke when Zeke was great for 4 years.
He always drafts like the biggest name. So he rarely will miss in the first round.
Dak wasn't.
No. I'm saying in the first round. Like he always like Green Bay will hire the guy. They'll draft the guy in the first round that you have to look up.
Michael Parsons too. But what I'm saying is like, I don't want to put all the blame on Jerry Jones. Now this season, Jerry Jones said we're going all in and re-signed the linebacker and brought in a fucking tackle or something. That was dog shit GM from Jerry Jones, but he's drafted really well. If Jerry Jones is truly, in fact, the guy who drafts these guys, or, you know, all teams have like a council, like, you know, representatives, things like that, who help him in that process with scouts. But I don't think all of this should be put on Jerry Jones. And I don't think all of it
should. It totally should.
I don't think all of this should be on Mike McCarthy either. I agree with you guys that the players are also at probably the biggest portion of the fault here.
My trainer at the gym, he's a diehard Cowboys fan, and Skip Bayless too. Like it is public information that like Jerry's World, like the whole thing, like dropping a helicopter in the middle of practice, like on the field, like the guy, like the guy,
Yeah.
no, like the guy doesn't know how to let somebody else take control over the team, and he wants to do it because even the guys that you're naming, like those are good first round picks, but Super Bowl winning teams, they draft good in the 3rd round. They draft good in the 5th round.
Dak was a 5th rounder.
Dak, Dak was good, but I'm saying like that's a guy, that's one guy. Like we're going through a resume of like the last 10 years. I'm telling you, like if you just looked at the thing that came up on the screen for the Packers, they had Tavion Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. There was 10 guys in the last 2 years that the Packers had drafted that were on the field.
How many of those guys would you take over CeeDee Lamb right now?
None, but that's my point. I would take a team over a guy.
Absolutely. You're right. In that case, you're absolutely correct. I'd rather have 4 guys who can contribute to a team than one superstar, because look where the Packers are with those guys and look where the Cowboys are. That's simple. That's just simple math.
As a little above average casual fan, every single Packers draft, I'm fucking pissed. I'm like,
That's fair.
Need a black skilled position first round. Hasn't happened in I don't know how many years. It's like, we got another offensive lineman. Oh, sick.
Yeah, but that's how you win, man. That's how the trenches. That's how you win.
Too. Like, look. We like.
Yeah.
You know.
Edgerrin Cooper, your outside linebacker out of Texas A&M, like that guy is going to be a Pro Bowler. His rookie season, like he's flying around. He's amazing. Like
Quay Walker.
But my trainer was just like, he was like, look, we're actually not going to be relevant until Jerry dies and his son takes over the team. And hopefully his son will have enough sense to hire an actual GM and let people make decisions, because nobody can really, that's why they can't bring in a real, like a Bill Belichick. Remember, everybody said, no, Jerry wants too much control. Even when they had Bill Parcells in Dallas, it was like he fired him because Bill Parcells was like, I'm not taking shit from you. I know what I'm doing. And Jerry's like, no, I need people to be submissive.
And Bill and I, this comment right here, we're on that same level. Yeah. We are on, our owners will not let football people run a football team. They want business people to run a football team because all they want is fucking money. That's it. What I will disagree with the trainer is that the relevancy. The Cowboys are going to be relevant forever. Will they win? That's the thing that I have to say that Jerry Jones, for some reason, just cannot get through his head. And the same thing with like the McCaskies for the Bears is like, okay, you guys want to be a historic franchise? Got it. The thing is, historic franchises win Super Bowls and they put on great talent out on the field. And the best thing that historic franchises do, like the Packers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, you know what they do? They let the football people do the football things. They don't let Kevin Warren, who is a lawyer by trade, run the fucking team. Or you, George McCaskey, who was thrust into the position as chairman and CEO, who has had 3 winning seasons since 2012. 3. That's not what great organizations, championship organizations do. They let their football minds go to work, put great talent out on the field, and win championships. They don't look at their team as a money grab. They don't look at it like a business, like, oh, as long as we're in the plus in terms of money, we're good. No, the point of a football team is to win championships and to get that respect throughout the league, to give it to your fans who pay top dollar for fucking nachos and beer and merch while they're at the stadium. So 100% agree with the fact that Jerry Jones, he's going to be relevant. It's just a matter and a question of, is he going to win? That's the only thing.
I want to touch on that real quick because there's actually a documentary coming out about the America's team.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch about the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So look at the Niners right now, and look at how they've turned their team over recently in the last years. Who's their GM?
John fucking Lynch, a football player. Yeah.
Football guy.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to start seeing that more and more and more. Like the guys that you saw, like, and of course, John Lynch, the fucking Hall of Famer, but like the guys that were smart on the field, the memorable guys. It's not just a team. It's not just a name. That guy understands the game of football like a fucking chess player.
And the business side of it. They need to come together.
It has to be cohesive.
That's what the GM is
Absolutely.
all about. The football
Yes.
and the business side come together as one.
But I'm sure
And look, sometimes it's not like,
has a team also with him. Like,
Yeah, of course he does.
John Lynch isn't a fucking numbers guy, you know?
yeah,
Like,
that's what I was going to say. It's not the
Now-
football guys who turn to the,
behind all that and like
Playing
dude,
hardball.
The GM, when
Yeah.
you're a general manager, you're getting what? How much are we making off concessions? How much are we making off merch? It's not just the team.
exactly.
Oh, like you're managing the whole business that is that football team.
And with that, I think he
CEO.
knows and he picks the people who are going to worry about the football side and the
Yeah.
people who are going to worry about the concessions, people who are going to worry about the merch, people who are going to worry about the ticketing prices. Like that's what former players who get into that position do. Hey, I can't do it all. Guess what? I'm going to delegate some shit to the people who know what the fuck they're doing and talking about. So
And he
that's
proved
just the thing that the Bears just can't handle.
Leading a team. His name's John fucking Lynch. Like
Yeah.
to me, it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
I hope we see more of that.
100%. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that conversation because I did, and especially airing out my fucking grievances with the Bears. But Brother T here on a special, as a special guest. Appreciate it, Brother T, for stopping by, and appreciate the super chat here that Kyle is super gay. Casey, thank you as well for the super chat, and Bill, of course, thank you guys so much for that. That is it for us here, Kyle. Unless you got something else before we get out of here.
That's all I got. Just
All right.
if I don't see you guys, Merry Christmas. If I don't see you guys on the 26th, Happy Hanukkah.
Wait, we're not doing Christmas tree?
Oh yeah, there's football.
There's football this year, baby.
Well, just in case they aren't going to be on.
Oh yeah, they'll be here. Hey,
Well,
Hey, we're
with
gonna-
that said, I
Can I
know.
finish? It-
Go ahead, Kyle. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy your time with your family, and thank you guys sincerely for buying me a new mic.
Thank you guys so much. Go follow us on X @AndNowRick. Go follow Kyle at NFL with Kyle, and go follow the Only Football Podcast at Only Football Pod. If you guys are watching us on the stream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a person on the street about the Only Football Podcast and Brother T's extremely large balls. Thank you guys again so much for being here. And Brother T and Kyle, always a good time, brothers.
Always a good time.
So